So Metro finally changes his name to Metro Lethal like a real man. That doesn't make him a real man, but it's good that he changed it. Finally. What's going on, everybody? You're grunting so loud that you can't even hear it. You're not even, your gate is not allowing your grunts.
Welcome.
You sound like you're underwater and muted.
Oh, of course.
Except for when you said welcome. Except for when you said welcome.
You know what? Maybe, just maybe. I don't think my settings here changed. No, they did not.
No, you sound
So
fine.
you should be hearing my real mic. How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling, man? How's everybody feeling in the chat? Apparently tomorrow is
Brian Gregory Masterclass 2.0 tomorrow.
Hopefully, bro. Hopefully it's Masterclass 2.0. All right.
By the way,
raise my seat up.
We got 80 in here already, guys. Can you help us out? Hit that like. I think we only have like 18 likes right now.
18?
Gotta pump those rookie numbers up. What up, Tracy Wells? What up, Blaze? What up, Metro Lethal? Sweet Tea in the house. Brian AZ, Poison Ivy, who says, if we knew Utah was going to give away Sexton for a bag of chips, we should have gone after them as gave them a call as well. You're right. And I'm just shocked. Did you see what they got for Nurk? What
did they get?
The Hornets got for Nurk?
They get for Nurk?
A second-round pick and Colin Sexton. We got Ruben Santiago Chavez. Changed his name back. I don't know why. He was becoming a young man. Now he's sliding back towards baby boy territory.
Man,
that's okay.
Back to baby boy territory the old Metro Lethal. Not Metro, Ruben.
We got Michael McEwen in the house. Heated, of course. Heated always trying to get that first spot. He's a live chat supremacist is what he is.
Live chat supremacist.
Haydot in the house. Brian AZ. Michael P. Inferno, of course. NVC. King J Rock. Devin Amory. What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us on this wonderful Sunday evening. And it's free agency eve.
Which is crazy.
And it's going to be a big, juicy free agency with tons of free agents.
Is it going to be big and juicy?
It isn't.
You know what I'm saying? Is it going to be big and juicy? Like, dude, that's the crazy part. I'm looking at who's available, and I'm just looking at, like, what's expected to happen. I don't think this is going to be for a big free agency.
It's a weird free agency, man.
It's going to be a big trade fest. And so I don't expect us to, if you look at the way the roster's set up, we were talking about this pregame before we went on here. We got 10 active players on our pending roster so far. That's not including your 2 draft picks. That's not including the new 2-way that you just signed. That's not including the potential, bringing back of a Gillespie or Bridges. You know what I mean? Like, you could potentially sign Gillespie to a contract if you really wanted to. So there's tons of moves that they could make. And so there's no immediate needs in free agency. They don't have to go in and they don't have to get Tyus Jones back. They don't have to get Monte Morris. They don't have to get CP3, just to name a few point guards. They don't have to get an Aaron Holiday if they really want to. They definitely don't have to get a big or need a big after the draft that they've had. They don't have to get a wing, and you're not even going to get a wing anyway, because not a good one anyway. So it's just it's really odd. Hey, that says you guys better not get excited. It's not really excitement. It's just waiting to see what they actually do. And like Gabe said, he said it best. Brian Gregory Masterclass 2.0. I think that it's going to be.
If it's going to be
more
that
so than trading, bro. It's going to be them trading again.
Well, yeah. So Sundo has a dream. It's first of all,
it's a tough dream.
All men will not be created equal. But then the other thing is he thinks that this is fitting to be trade season tomorrow. Tell him why.
I really hope so, bro.
Tell him why.
Why?
I mean,
why
lay
am I telling him
lay
why?
out your vision. He's telling me before we started that.
Oh, so yeah, you're talking about that
because we have so little money.
Here's my vision, and that is, you dial up Washington if possible, and I've been trying to go through Fanspo and I haven't found anything possible. It's a mess. But my dream, my hope is that you move Beal. I know that the reports are that he's only going to go to the right team and he prefers to stay, and I understand that. But if you can find the team that he prefers to go to, and I'm hoping it's Washington, he wants to go back home. Like, I would much rather trade Beal to the Wizards or something like that. Get a bunch, even if it's Kyle Middleton and a bunch of dudes on this team that you don't even plan on playing. Because if you weren't planning on playing him, quote unquote, then go get Middleton and dudes that you still don't plan on playing. Get them for a year, get them off the roster. That's my hope. Now, here's the deal. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. Probably not.
Let's go into Beal. Let's go into Brad Beal real quick then. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, throughout covering the Bradley Beal saga, lately, I've said myself, I feel vindicated. I got to say that. Because I've been trying to tell you people that Beal will accept. I'm not the only one. Flex said it, others said it, but I get all these comments, Sundo, that are like, and I'm like, relax, and they're like, okay, and they're saying through that grunting that he's not going to accept, you're stuck with him, he's not going to leave. And he's come out officially, they've come out, and he and his agent, and said, I will accept a trade clause as long as it's to a proper place, though I would like to stay here. So that is an amendment. That is new. So it is possible. We just got to hope that a team that he likes is. Question. But do we still have really any assets that we can attach to him to make that offer juicier?
There's some seconds and some firsts. I've just looked, and there's some pick swaps you could try to move, but it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be really, really, really tough. And so that's why I said it's a dream. By the way, Prince Travis sent a Mimby. Thank you so much. Tower Defense.
Ooh.
The newest horseman.
Thank you, and welcome back, Prince Travis. Been a little minute. You know, I know you're a busy, sexy man.
But here's why I say it's a dream. Because
horseman. There we go.
Hurry up.
And then you got to don't just skip over baby boy Roy, sweet baby Roy's sauce.
Oh, my bad. CP3, will he take the mid-level or vet minimum?
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that, Roy.
That's a great question. But back to Beal. Here's the deal. I think that Bradley Beal is going to be on this team this year.
Shut up, dude. Just shut up.
I really do,
man. Kick you,
I really do. I really do. Go ahead and kick me.
Sorry, everybody. Sundo didn't have time to finish the stream. So he had to go. At least we get to look at his AI pick. Oh, you're still there? Oh, you're still there?
No.
I'm sorry for blaming the messenger. Go on.
But for real, like, do you? I know you're saying like, hey, they've amended the whole. Oh, if it's the right place, dude. Do you? It has to be a perfect storm and a perfect marriage.
Can I tell you also what my boy fat ass Brian Windhorst said today? See if I can find this. Basically, I'll paraphrase. I'm sure a lot of you saw what fat ass Brian Windhorst said, and I say that with all love and respect for Windy.
Brian right? Greggy with the $2 super chat real quick says, just wait tomorrow, guys. Sleep. well.
We're so
Thank
glad you're
you,
a part of our
Brian
family now,
Gregory.
Brian Gregory. So Windhorst was saying, he goes, if I'm the Suns, I send Bradley Beal home. I go to him and I say, hey, man, look, we respect you. We appreciate you. Thank you for your service. We are sorry that we put together this team so poorly. It's not your fault. Things are not working out as is. Just go ahead and go home. And leave it at that. And he goes, wait about 2 weeks. And he's like, I bet you Beal's agent will call and give a list of teams that they'll accept a trade to. And then so the argument against that, and that was my argument like 2 months ago. I plainly put that out there and said, send him home. Do just Stephon Marbury his ass. I believe that basketball players like Bradley Beal love to play the game of basketball, and that's the only part of leverage that we have over him, is to take his joy away. He can have his money, he can have his city that he wants to live in, but he will become miserable. If you took basketball away from me, bro, I'm a fat schlub. If you take basketball away from me, I would be miserable, and I don't get paid to play. In fact, I pay a membership to be able to go and play whenever I want because it's that important. And I'm nothing compared to Bradley. I guarantee you he loves basketball. And if you you can, Wow Factor. Yes, you can. You can send him home. You can say, we don't want to play you. Conduct detrimental to the team. Whatever you got to come up with. Whatever you got to do.
Home if he doesn't report. I mean, I'm sure if they pay him full salary, the union's not going to complain about it.
No, he's getting all his money. He's not getting fined. We'll pay him handsomely to sit on his couch and scratch his boxers. There's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day,
the union only cares about him getting his full salary and them getting them union dues. They don't care. If they sent bro home and he was just sitting on his butt getting full pay, they're not going to care.
That's the other argument that Brian AZ and you have stated, is that you think Bradley Beal will gladly sit on his couch for millions of dollars and not play. I do not believe that. I do not believe that that's the way that elite athletes, which he used to be, are wired. His brain is still wired. He needs and wants to compete. There is a dopamine rush, Sundo, that is very addictive about basketball.
Blake just hit the nail on the head. That's the real mind games you're playing with.
Making him sit will lower his next contract. I think
if he wants to continue playing.
I think his next contract is already kind of screwy.
I mean, no. His next contract is already going to be considerably lower than the max, right? Like, obviously, it's going to be considerably lower. But you don't like. They are right about him not playing. Like, if he's not playing, like, teams aren't going to give him anything but the minimum. So that's another good point. So either way, I think that I kind of agree with you with the Suns should probably, if they really want to play hardball, pull that. I just don't think they will. I don't think they want to be known as that franchise right now.
I don't give a. I don't care. I don't care. I'm so sick of what it will look like. I don't give a damn. I had this conversation with Tori last night, and I was like, dude, I'm not trying to bite your head off. I'm just so sick of this. I'm sick of, well, what will it look like? How about not what it looked like last year? That's what I want it to look like, not what it looked like last year. So we were talking about Jalen Green and Booker in the starting lineup together, and Tori's like, I said, personally, I want Jalen Green coming off the bench for Booker. And he's like, nah, you guys he was the main piece of the package that you got back for Kevin Durant. They're not going to do that. It looks bad. I said, I don't care how it looks. I'm done with trying to make myself look good. I don't care if the team looks good. I want us to function well. Okay? he's like, that's going to look bad if you put your biggest piece on the bench that you got back for KD. Don't care. He's not as good as Devin Booker, and they do the exact same things. They play the exact same position. So because we need a point guard, let's just hypothetically say it's Chris Paul. Devin Booker at the 2, or do you want Devin Booker at the 3? With Jalen Green. That's 3 guards that aren't great defenders in your lineup. Then
this is true.
I think Rasheer Fleming should be the starting 4 day 1. If he earns it, he's the only actual power forward on the roster. If he earns it the way Ryan Dunn did, I also think he'll be better than Ryan Dunn. So I want Ryan Dunn in the starting lineup. I want Ryan Dunn at the 3. I want Devin Booker at the 2. I want a real point guard at the 1. And I want one of our 5s at the 5. Shocker. I want it to be Mark Williams teaching and working with Malawach to, split that roll up. I don't care about what we look like. We could not look worse than we did last year. We looked like a hot sack of shit last year with flies flying around it. Can it look any worse? I want a roster that fits. It like 25 other teams, 24 other teams. Jalen Green, you get to start for them. You don't get to start over Devin Booker. And why would we start you with Devin Booker? You telling me Ryan Dunn has to sit because Jalen Green's going to be out there not passing the ball that much and not playing defense? F that, bro.
Fair enough. I would say you don't know exactly what's going to happen until we see this team in action with the new coach and what they're going to do. So I'm going to have the wait and see approach. But I don't think that Jalen Green's going to sit. So I'm sorry. That's just probably not going to happen.
No, I agree. I'm just arguing what I want.
And then arguing the same point of what it looks like back to Beal. I still think they see that they can. I still think they feel like they can get some value out of Beal if they don't move him. I don't even know if they'll even tell him to sit. They may try to stick it out. Either have him come off the bench or what you said, have Green come off the bench. One or the other. It doesn't really matter. Jackson Hart with $5 super chat says, in agreement with Gabe, you do whatever it takes to shift from Beal. Don't jeopardize a positive future and culture because of one dude. Oh, we can all agree with that one, Jackson. I'm just talking about the situation that we're in, and we got to face the reality that he might still be on the team. I'm 100% on board with doing whatever it takes to send Beal out. Absolutely.
And
I'm just looking at, but you just look at all the scenarios and you're like, there's not a whole lot of scenarios where.
I also kind of want to apologize to Bradley Beal because I've been so negative to him. And there is still that part of me that recognizes he's a good human being. He's a good dad. He's probably a good husband. I don't know. And he used to be an incredible. What's up, Ben Garcia show, man? Thanks for the love.
What's up?
So I know that Beal's a good guy. It's just, dude, you overplayed your hand and you forced us to hate you because he got in his feelings because we were such pricks as a community, as a Suns fan base. We were such pricks to him that he said, "Hey, you know what? Let me go out here and show you that I can be a prick too. Let me go out here and utter the words, I smile every day." And let me go out here and start key and Arsenio Hall whoop 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 for your boy Steph Curry when he's in the process of killing our playoff hopes. So he did those things to us. He retaliated. I don't blame him. He's only human. He heard the noise. But I still recognize
it's not just that he heard the noise. His wife heard the noise, and it got personal. That's
people
really
on Twitter were calling her out, which I vehemently disagree with. That's terrible.
So, I mean, it wasn't just he heard the noise. His wife heard the noise. His wife heard, his wife had I remember whenever he first got traded, his wife has a YouTube channel where they do like a family vlog, and he's in it and all sorts of stuff. And all the fans in the first episode, because it was like they were moving to Phoenix, and all the fans were like, "Oh my gosh, we love you. We can't wait to get you here." And I can only imagine what the comments were on that YouTube channel after the fact. You know what I mean? And so I know, like, it wasn't just Beal that heard the noise. They were definitely probably talking to his wife some type of way.
They were, and it was out of bounds, bro. Out of bounds. I literally commented, like, leave his wife and family out of this, you heathens.
Yeah, but you know fans are going to do that. But regardless, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, bro, still makes 50 plus. And as fans, we look at that and say, hey, bro, you're making this much. Put some effort in. You know, come into work.
Ben
play
said,
well.
timeout. I blame him. He makes $50 million a year to keep his mouth shut. LOL. I mean, yeah, but that money is already in the bank. That money isn't in jeopardy if he opens his mouth, you know? Mm-hmm. So, and these dudes have egos, and he proved that he has an ego that I didn't think he was so egotistical. But when he told Bud, don't ask me to play like Drew Holiday, don't ask me to play for play like a different player. You know, that's when
I always thought that was dumb.
It's ego. That's ego, bro. If I asked you to start being, if I asked you to start reporting like Brendan Clean, you'd be like, that's a real professional. I should model myself after.
I'd be like, Clean. I'm not Brandon Clean. What are we?
Because you have an ego.
It's not that. It's not even that of an ego. I'm just not Brandon Clean. I could never be Brandon Clean. Brandon is clean.
Get it right or pay the price.
Brandon Clean is clean. Whatever. Like
there you go. Is clean.
I'm not gonna be that dude, and that's what I'm saying. So now, like, it's not pride. It's like, hey, bro, I'm not Drew Holiday. I'm Bradley Beal. I can't be a defender like that.
You need to let me coach you.
I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that argument. Regardless, Animal TV. Regardless. Coach Bud is a whole different thing. He did damage to this franchise that we don't even know about right now. Like I'm pretty sure the stories will still keep coming out. But regardless, back to Beal. I think because we got sidetracked. I just don't think there are very many options for him to leave. So it's tough. Like, and I'm thinking the number one option is going to be Wizards. Has to be Wizards, right? And I'm willing to take a Middleton. I'm willing to take whatever you got for 1-year players that we can just get off the books after this year, buy out, do whatever we got to do, move forward, right?
You were looking at that. What did you find?
There's not much to find. I mean, what they have on the roster is a Marcus Smart and a Chris Middleton. We don't know what's the news on Brogdon. Do we know if he's back?
I don't know.
I don't remember if he's back or not. But like you can do something like that.
You're talking Middleton for the sake of getting his money off the books, not because you think he's a good player and we want him.
Absolutely. It's the sake that Middleton's got 1 year left. You get Middleton and that contract's off the books. Boom. Wow factor. Something like a LeBron for 1 year for sure. If that was possible, I would take that for sure as well.
We'll talk LeBron. Give us.
We'll talk that later. My hopes is you get rid of Beal. You're able to get some sort of players that match. You get them off the team next year. Boom. Whether it's like a Marcus Smart that I saw on the team or something like that. But even if it's possible. But
Brogdon's free agent.
It's going to be tough. So I think really what the team's option is, and like I said, moving forward is you're going to have to look at the Royce O'Neals, the Grayson Allens, and the Nick Richards to make some moves. Emerald TV says, why would Washington do that? Because Washington actually likes Bradley Beal.
He's like their girlfriend that they never had a better girl than, and so they're like, hey, baby, we'll take you back. Come back. Like we don't got nothing going on. Like
CJ McCollum's in Washington now. So yeah, even like a player like that. But specifically for me, I'm wanting Chris Middleton and Marcus Smart and like just 1 year deals that we can just get off the books after the season and move on, right? So I just don't know if that's
Christopher. I didn't see Beal laughing after the Wolves. The Wolves played him off the court, specifically Andrew Anthony Edwards played him off the court, beat the
They played the whole
Brizzakes
team
off
the
of him.
court, bro.
But they
not
made
even
Bradley Beal foul out, and Beal had maybe like 2 points in the second half, like if that. Like it was bad. He cried on the sidelines on the bench after he fouled out.
Blank says, but go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
He's asking about why would Beal want to go there to Washington? Because he's Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal signed a no trade clause with the Washington. Why do you think he signed a no trade clause with Washington?
Because he could get it.
His family was it's not even that. His family was entrenched there, though. You know what I mean?
I would think he wanted that no trade because he's like he knew he had the power to get Washington, a desperate team.
This is true, but I also, from what I've understood, knowing friends from Washington who are Wizards fans, Beal was entrenched in that community. They love Beal. They love Bradley Beal. So
I know.
There's a connection there with the city as well.
I disagree with you. I'm with Blank.
What's Blank say?
He was saying, why would Beal want to go there? I feel like Beal
is why would Beal want to go there, or why would Washington?
Why would Beal want to go back? Considering, been there, done that. It's a disgusting town. No offense.
Lord, here we go.
It is. It's a cold weather town. It's disgusting.
But like, wasn't his wife had a bunch of businesses there? Like, didn't they? Like, I'm sure there was a connection there.
It's not about that to me. It's about his ego. He leaves Washington, he's a big fish. He goes to the Suns. I feel like it's about that to him now.
I don't think it's about ego. I think it's about that for him now. Like, remember, like one of the things is didn't his wife have like a bunch of business here and stuff like that?
Yeah,
like
she's got
like
a new
aren't
business.
they really doing stuff? And so yeah, I feel like that has a lot to do, like that's why he doesn't want to leave now, because they uprooted themselves to here, and now her business is here, and they don't want to go anywhere. I think it's the same thing.
What I'm saying,
he doesn't want to leave because he's like, I already uprooted my life from Washington to be here. Why would I want to go somewhere else?
Going back feels like I couldn't cut it out there, so now I'm accepting a return back to the place where there's no winning, and it's a cold weather city, and I'm accepting that I'm a failure outside of Washington. I'm going back to Washington.
I think you could have just left it at, I don't want to go back to Washington, cold weather city. My wife's business is here now, and you could have left it at that.
But
I don't think it has anything to do with
that's a good
else.
front-facing thing to say. But I think the true reason his ego is too strong to accept being it's like being sent home. You think he's an egoless man?
I don't think he's an egoless man, but I don't think that had anything to do with it.
I mean, Animal, he said he's willing to go somewhere. We're more than ready to send him somewhere.
So regardless, I want to be able to trade. Don't think it's going to happen. We'll see. So let's move on to the next report.
I do think it's going to happen. Like, just throwing that out
I hope
there.
You're right.
That's a disagreement right there.
Move on to the next report.
LeBron?
3 players that are in the trade market. Not LeBron. We can talk about that later.
LeBron?
The 3 players in the trade market. Because I really don't think we're going to make very many signings, bro. Like, we can talk about all the signings next, but I think most of our moves are going to be the Gooses, the Royces, the Richards, and potentially the Bradley Beals. Like, I think those are the moves that we're going to be making this offseason, tomorrow, whatever. So,
let's get the LeBron thing out of the way.
I already moved to the trades, but we can do whatever.
Because it's going to be quick. Because it's going to be quick.
Okay, go ahead.
So in the chat, you guys, can you just kind of toss out there your view of what's going on with LeBron? Because Sundo's allergic to X. He only gets on Facebook because he's 73 years old. So he only gets on Facebook.
I'll take that.
He doesn't know what's going on with the Suns news because he refuses to read it on X.
I don't read it. I'm on X, you bum. I just open up X once a day. I didn't open up X today because it's the Lord's Day. Sorry. So go on.
Forgot
He
what a
wants to
holy
leave.
man
Thank you.
you
Wow.
are.
Yeah, thank you. You just saved me the whole soliloquy. I want to use Stephen A. Smith's words here from Gabe. Thank you so much.
So
He wants to leave.
you're gonna like what I have to say about it.
Hey, let's go. Let's hear it.
I guarantee it. So, news comes out today. This is my view of it. He says, you know what? I will take that ridiculous, I think, $53 million payday. And you know what? I don't think I will just come back to the Lakers. I think I might want to go to a team where I can win a championship in my final year. And I don't think that the Lakers are putting that type of team around me. So, Suns fans, for the fourth year in a row, I feel like, start going, woo, 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 woo. We're getting LeBron. To which I actually ignored this time like a smart little boy, okay? I didn't tweet about it. I didn't say nothing because why would he want to come to the Suns if he wants to win a title? That's not the time we're not on that time frame anymore. Like, do you guys really see any way in which LeBron wants to go to Phoenix? Like, if I'm LeBron, I go back to Cleveland. They got a hot team.
I was gonna say the exact same thing you just said, bro. If I'm LeBron, I'm going to Miami or Cleveland, or a team like that, where it's like, you see the young players. I'm gonna fit in. I don't have to do.
Well,
I don't have to put a team on my back.
It's for Beal.
Yeah.
The thought is, we could send them Beal for. It's just not gonna happen. It's just not even. It doesn't fit at all. But I'm telling you, bro, on X, it was a major topic today, more so than I feel like in years past when we've wanted him, quote unquote. So I was shocked by that, but I don't
understand it. Like, I think those are coming from fans that are still in like championship mode, or you know what I mean. And we're not in championship mode. KD was gone. That was the end of championship mode. Like, we're doing
a great job getting back in that direction. Okay, we've stopped backsliding. We've planted our feet and started marching forward. But I don't know where we're at on the ladder of success. We're not sliding down the ladder anymore, thank God. We are moving forward. I don't know where we are, but I know it's not. Like, I could see the Suns being in contention for like the 7th, 8th seed. Getting it and us being over the moon, more happy than in the years when we had KD, more happy than those playoff runs.
There's no expectations for sure, right? There's no expectations.
What's up, Chef Brian Gregory?
I think that would be dope if it did happen. I would welcome LeBron James on a 1-year contract to this team. Again, it's the same principle that I said with freaking.
Well, instead of Beal, of course.
So yeah, I would gladly take LeBron James for a year here. It would be fun to watch. I just don't think it's going to happen. Tap says the KD disrespect is crazy. From whom? Oh, in the chat. And also, to be fair, KD was never in championship mode.
I mean, we were never in championship mode with KD, in my opinion, because
I think we were for a hot second.
I think that shit was fugazi.
I think until that Beal trade happened, we were in championship mode.
Maybe, but we traded too much of our core away and replaced it with not a championship core, and that made
Sweetie says, doesn't Beal have 3 years left? No, Beal has 2 years left, so only 2.
That I hope you will, Chef Brian Gregory. Please go get us CP3. And it's not about winning. It's not that we think that getting CP3 is going to make us title contenders. Not what it's about. Not at all.
Carlos says, Sundo, LeBron doesn't play defense. He's not a line. I don't think that's what it's about. I don't I think you guys think that I'm over here still trying to make moves to be aligned and win. No, I want that contract gone.
Big time, bro. Like we've got a free agent. We've got a front office that's showing us that they're not actually nincompoops. These dudes can actually do something. Imagine what they might be able to do for us when motivated under the second apron, or God forbid, under the first apron. What would that be like?
Clearly said, and I'm not reading that. We're not reading that. We're not reading it. That is too much. Be calm. Well, thank you for the super chat. Y'all can read it in the chat. I am not reading that. Christopher says it's about culture. Look, listen to me. Why are we pretending like LeBron James isn't a good basketball player and isn't a leader in a sense and wouldn't,
You love your love for I'm kicking you out of the story.
I don't love LeBron.
Yes, you
James.
do. You always have. You've always lied about it. You always lie and hide it. Every year we go through this.
Can you hear my eye roll? Oh my gosh, I don't love LeBron James. I was just saying I will take LeBron James for a year over Bradley Beal for 2. I will take LeBron James for a year over Bradley Beal for 2. But the conversation is it or is it going to happen? And my answer is no, it's not going to happen.
Roy, when did you dono? Okay, so Roy said, are we bottom feeders or 6th seed or play in? I think that's our range. Our range is 6th seed to bottom feeders. Don't know. Depends on how good Jordan Ott is. I think the biggest thing is we continue to ignore the point guard position, bro.
Man,
it's like I feel like me in high school not doing my homework. I used to show up to class, bro. Right. I never had. If I had my homework, it was like a very rare occasion. And I feel like the Suns are like, yeah, we'll do our homework. We'll probably do our homework. At some point, we will do our homework. And then it's like, hey, the season's about to start. Where's your point guard? I think we played too much 2K last night, and I think we didn't get one. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll just do really good on our we'll just do really good on the test, and that'll make up for the. No, you won't, because you didn't do your homework, so you're not prepared for the test. So getting a point guard, and it doesn't have to be Chris Paul. But we have to get a point guard to get out of not being a bottom feeder. I think you could go into this season with our improved, awesome, fun new roster and still be bottom feeders because you're directionless. You don't have a general. You don't have someone putting people in the right places and getting them the ball. You're forcing Devin Booker to be a point guard when sure he can do it, but it's not what makes him legendary. He's a legendary 2 guard, and you strip him of that. And that's the best thing you have on the team. You're stripping him of it. God forbid you ask Jalen Green to play point guard. That will not work. He doesn't have the unselfish, get others involved gene that shockingly Booker does. But I want Booker to get his and throw some lobs to Malawach. So to answer your question, if we get a good point guard, if we get point guard locked down, I think we could be a 6, 7, 8 seed, maybe 9, 10, and sneak into
have to get that locked down. Whether that's old man CP3, dare I say, bring Tyus Jones back, or what Alex Wolf said in the chat, maybe you trade Royce or Goose for a point guard, and you just put all the young core around them.
Gambo recently said that those two, he expects them to not get moved.
Really now?
Yeah.
So he expects Royce and
Goose to stay now.
Goose to stay put, and Richards will be the only one getting moved. This is what I'm hearing.
Well, I mean, we just picked up Richards' money, paid him $5 million to stay. I think
but it's $5 million.
I think they're gonna want to keep Richards. Moving him is totally on
So
the table because you've got Oso, but Richards is the more like tradable asset, I would think.
absolutely.
You know, if I was another team, I think I would want Nick Richards over Oso. He's a little bit more sure of a sure thing.
Chris Stu says, would you guys do Green Brooks as key pieces in a Trey? Like Trey Young? Is that what you're asking?
I know a lot of people ain't gonna like this, but I would technically rather have Trey Young than Jalen Green.
I was
Because
gonna say it's the same thing.
Trey Young throws
Just
magnificent lobs. His floater and his lob game are stupid good, and that would be kind of cool. We have a hat on top of a hat right now. We have our two best players are shooting guards. Hell, our three best players are shooting guards, Sundo. We need a point guard. It'd be less of a problem if they were all points, because points get other people involved. Points lead the team and set things up for everyone, making everyone better. Shooting guards do not do such a thing. Shooting guards go out there and get theirs.
EA is becoming a free agent.
Yeah. Good thing our center position is completely hemped up. All right. And we don't even need to think about a center anymore.
Oh my gosh, bro. Could you imagine if we didn't make the Williams and Malawak pick? Oh my
Suns
goodness.
fans would want him back.
Dudes, oh my, they would.
They would
They
want him
would, bro. Ayton just got bought out, man.
Wow. I'm very happy
The
for
breaking news
Blazers
there.
Uprise. They're going to be cheering tonight. Guys, we got
Oh,
69 likes, which is a very funny number.
We got 100. We got 284 watching as well. So
yeah,
yes,
can we get
hit the
to
like.
100? Is that a possibility? Yeah, King J-Rock. Gambo isn't right most of the time. If he feels that way, I understand it, but I would look to move one of Grayson and/or Royce. And honestly, dude, I like Grayson more, but I would keep Royce.
Thoughts on Suns getting Ty Jerome?
That would be a absolute dream come true for me. Stay on Ty Jerome. We missed some donos. You missed some donos because you're getting a little too big for your britches. You're getting a little too.
They're
arrogant.
all BCOM-C clearly for the most part, and I'm not reading those. I'm not reading those. I'm not reading the BCOM-C clearly ones. You do it.
All right, so he said, so I won't read the $5 one. And notice he put 5 on that to really try to lure you into reading it. $2, less sus. We didn't let the media TMZ. It's so be it, so be it. No clue what that means. Okay? No one knows what that means, so I'm going to move on to the next one. Another $2. His soul don't like his body. We helped him free it. Do you need help, Be Calm? Is this a cry for help? Like the dead ass question here. Do you need help? Is this like some type of next?
And you gave Buddy a wrench.
Next
and
one.
You gave Buddy a wrench.
What was I thinking? $5 from Be Calm. Let me speak to you, Devin Armani Booker. Okay, so this is addressed to Devin. We built through and okay, so he's not a native English speaker. That's what I'm realizing. Ain't no way that Be Calm's first language is English. I don't even think his fourth language is English. Let me show the Tory Jones is calling to gloat. Well, you got out of the DeAndre Ayton business.
He's finally gone, bro. He's finally gone.
Bro is so excited, bro.
We're streaming. They can hear you. Anything you want to say to DeAndre Ayton on the way out?
This is the greatest day of my life. Klingon is better. He can go sign with the Hornets or some shit. And thank goodness.
Well, I said I was happy for you. I said, that's good. I'm excited for Blazers Uprise.
You're streaming?
Yeah.
Nice. Bet. I'll leave you alone then.
All right, man. I'll hit you up in disc.
Yep, see ya.
Later. Back to the Be Calm donos that make no sense. I'm just going to skip to the next one because the last one was going nowhere halfway through.
Okay,
Be calm, $2. Ant still shooting the club up. Duck, duck, baby. You know, I don't know who Ant is in this scenario. Go on.
Thoughts on getting Chris Dunn? Knight says,
Ooh.
I like Chris Dunn.
I'm gonna look up what he did last year.
There's no point guard right now that moves the needle for me. All these point guards that we're talking about in free agency right now that are possible: Chris Dunn, Tyus Jones, Monte Morris, CP3s. Like CP3, like these are all gonna be, in my opinion, probably 20-minute a game guys. Not gonna do, you know what I mean? Like that's my issue with the point guard market.
I read 5 Be Calm donos. It's your turn.
And he another one. I'm just Gabe, and that's all. No Travis. Go the Eclipse.
No one knows what any of that means. Do you?
I don't know, bro.
Thank you.
I don't know, bro.
Love you. Be calm. All right, I'm looking up.
Are we gonna look at the free agency list that Gabe has on the screen, or what? Look, we can look at that here in a minute. I'm trying to move this thing along. We talked about the trade. Sounds like that's not gonna happen. So basically, in my opinion, this is gonna be a really, really boring free agency period for Phoenix Suns fans altogether. Like,
well, maybe NBA wide. Like, this isn't a sexy free agency class.
No, absolutely
it's just not. Okay, so Chris Dunn, you guys remember last season we really wanted Chris Dunn.
Yes.
Because he was so improved. This last season, he shot 33.5 from 3. Let me look at it compared to what it was the season before. So in Utah, okay, so he averaged 1 point more. His 3-point shooting went down a little, just barely, on more attempts. So you could say it was 37 and went down to 33.5. But that he's shooting like 2 more a game, like 1.3 more a game. I don't know, dude. 2.8 assists. He started 58 games, and those are his numbers, bro. 24 minutes a game, like 6.5 points, 3 assists.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm kind of out on
move the
Chris
needle,
Dunn.
bro.
And
None
now,
of these move the needle.
Yeah, and we're going younger. Like, we're a younger team now. I don't think we go the way of a 31-year-old point guard. It's what's up?
I have a tweet that is hilarious, and it's from your boy the Coldest.
Okay.
I
think I might have seen it.
Because we're talking 2 minutes ago.
Oh, no.
It says, I'm proud of DeAndre Ayton for getting his 3rd contract soon enough. Dreamed of getting his 2nd, and now he's on to his 3rd. Never give up on your dreams, kid.
You know they got to be going live soon.
Oh my gosh, bro.
To dance on his grave.
Animal TV says, y'all are asleep on Colin Gillespie. No, we are not. So,
no. Go ahead.
No, we are not. We actually want to see Colin Gillespie back.
Roy, I'll comment on Westbrook as well, but go ahead.
Yeah, we are not sleeping on Colin Gillespie. We want I want Colin Gillespie back for sure. I think Colin Gillespie, under the right system, the way he finished the season last year, as long as he's coached well, he can be a TJ McConnell level player, and he can actually be that point guard that will distribute. I really do honestly believe that. I don't think he'll be lights out or anything, but I think he can have a solid career. So I'm not sleeping on Colin Gillespie. Colin Gillespie, I think, could become that. I think he's coachable.
We're sleeping on Gillespie to the point that we don't view him as our starting point guard of the future. That's the extent to which we sleep. I don't think there's anything like, I don't think it's insulting to say that he could be the next TJ McConnell, and we would be happy with that. TJ McConnell is literally like a third string quarterback who plays out of his mind for the amount of time that he gets in the role that he has. I want Gillespie to be the backup one guard, and I don't think he's just too small and not that great defensively to say we're sticking with you as the point guard of the future forever. As long as you're here, you're our guy. No, he's not that good because he can't defend that well. But as far as the guy that comes in, he's perfect. He's better than what we got out of Campaign potentially as a backup. Remember how important Campaign was at times?
I would love a Campaign. I'd love to have Campaign back.
That's Colin Gillespie. Better. Go ahead.
No. I mean, we're just saying like all these players that we're looking at in free agency, none of these guys move the needle. Like I said, none of them. None of these dudes are going to be playing freaking 30 plus minutes. None of them. CP3 potentially could be the only one just because he's a veteran and knows what he's doing. But I don't even expect him to play 30 plus minutes because of age. So you're looking at Tyus Jones.
He'll get a lot of minutes too. Gillespie would get a lot of minutes. I'm fine with Gillespie over Tyus. I'm gonna be honest. Tyus didn't show shit last year.
I'm be honest with you too, but I'm just saying none of these dudes in free agency that we're looking at are moving the needle. So that's my point. Like we keep saying we need a point guard. Well, they're not going to get one this free agency that's going to move the needle that much. Westbrook's Brian AZ. Westbrook moves the needle 10 years ago, right? Dennis Schroeder. I mean, Dennis Schroeder might be the only one you look at.
Okay, let's go.
But he's also
Schroeder.
He's an early bird. But they got bird rights in Detroit. So if they want him, I mean, they can definitely take him above market value and keep him. And I'm sure he'll take that over a veteran minimum.
It's like be calm. It's like he's speaking in inside jokes that we aren't a part of.
Like middleman, we book him. You know what happened.
Any thoughts on what that means?
No.
Thank you. Be calm. So Matt, yeah, I just don't think that's Brea's. I don't think that's even in his wheelhouse. That once again,
no,
you're asking a two guard to play.
So you know what I'm looking at right now. If they're not going to get a point guard, and they're still going to rely on Gillespie. I feel like they can. I feel like that whole thing that we heard all offseason when we got Beal was like Beal or Booker can run the point. I feel like they're going to try to run that back again. I feel like they feel like with the innovation that Ott has on offense, they're just all they need to do is have somebody bring the ball up the court, and then they'll run the offense.
You know, the year that the Nuggets won,
I don't know how I feel about that.
The year that the Nuggets won, they were using the guy that brought the ball up, I believe the majority of the time was Aaron Gordon, as far as hoofing the ball up crossed half court. So, but once it was across half court, it went into Joker's hands, and he's the real point guard. We don't have a guy whose speciality is improving the players around him. You got to get someone like that. Gillespie's the closest thing to it.
Gillespie's the closest thing to it. CP3's old butt's the closest thing to it. This is kind of like, man, it's tough.
It is.
Focus. You guys aren't cool enough for BCom. You know what, bro? You're absolutely right.
We aren't.
You're absolutely right.
We're lucky he graces us.
We are boomers.
Westbrook.
So what's this? Everybody keeps saying DA to Lakers. That's not.
The Lakers are super duper desperate for a big. Remember they brought in Alex Len after the trade deadline. He was a buyout candidate, and they got out. That's how desperate they are for a big. What do you think Luka could do with DA? Honestly, Luka could revive his career. Luka had "Don't Tase Me, Bro" Jackson Hayes looking good for a period of time. I do not want DA to go to the Lakers. I don't want him and Luka together. Like that would actually you're right, Malo. I would put it like 60-70% likelihood that he ends up there. But what do you want to do with Westbrook? And like before you say anything, I don't necessarily ever want Westbrook on the team either. However, last season he was a really good
If you get
player
Westbrook here
for
on
them.
a minimum, you can't question Westbrook's effort. You can't question,
Exactly.
all that stuff. It's just, again, it still doesn't move the needle for me. Like none of them really move the needle. Like it'll just be another player there that's going to give you some effort, might be able to give you some rim pressure, might be able to distribute the ball, but it's not going to be anything that's like super duper awesome. You know what I mean? None of these players are. No point guard in free agency is. So I want a distributor, but like there's not one out there, so you might as well just roll with Gillespie, bring him back, and CP3. It's tough saying that because you're losing your defense.
What defense did we ever have at the point guard position?
Well,
I would argue
getting younger brought that.
I would argue CP3 and Gillespie can't be worse on defense than Tyus Jones. Tyus, don't hunt me, bro, Jones. Like that was bad.
Animal TV, I agree. He says this season has to be about 2 years from now. Develop the young guys. Look, we are in agreement. The problem is, does Matt Ishby agree with you?
No, he does
They seem
not.
they seem to want to compete.
And that's how you end up disappointed. That's how you can end up being disappointed, is by having your sights set too unrealistically high.
So we are all in agreement. Like, yeah, develop your players. You're going to sign Book to an extension. Develop Green. He's 23. He still has potential. You develop Bria. You develop Fleming. We keep forgetting about Fleming and how I think he's going to be so good. Develop Malawak. All that stuff.
Do you think Chris Paul will...
I think Chris Paul helps. I think Chris Paul helps with development.
Do you think he would come back for a minimum, or do you think he's going to try to get more than a minimum?
I don't know. That's a good question. He is...
Better question. Do you think the Clippers would offer him a minimum, more than a minimum, and outbid us?
That's another good question.
That report came out today too, that the Clippers and the Suns are both going after Chris Paul.
Well, I mean, that is tough.
He's 40 years old.
I think the Clippers might do it just for nostalgia's sake.
How do you give a 40-year-old... Go ahead.
More than a veteran minimum? I don't know. The Clippers could do it, though. B-Com Sinclair says, LOL, Harden is technically a point guard. Get out of here.
Harden is. I mean, Harden is it. Weirdly enough, he's a combo guard that actually can do both.
Like money-wise, we're talking veteran minimums here.
Money-wise, yeah, no chance. That's what you got. Dun it. Type shit. Wow Factor says, I'll match whatever Clips pay. Not how any of this works.
Well, we can't match it. That's the problem.
We didn't save that much in the KD trade. But I think
we didn't.
Didn't we save anything? Did we get to the point where we can offer anything more than a minimum, like half of an MLE or something?
I don't know.
That?
You're talking to the wrong person here.
That's true.
Sorry, I should be more educated on how that works, but you're talking to the wrong person.
Next year you should do the.
That's a Torrey Jones question.
Wow. Next year you should do the mock off season with us, so you can
Yeah, you know what? You're probably right, and I
Yeah.
would love to do that for sure, for sure. I'm not kidding. I just never get invited to these things because I'm not cool enough like you.
Thought you were gonna play the race card. Animal says we didn't save anything. Love y'all said nope. Yeah, I didn't think we saved really. No, Chris, are you serious? He thinks the Rockets saved money. Eric, I'm with you on there. Matt, Oso can help. Oso is a great passer, but he's getting passed up in the depth chart, brother. Malawatch. It's going to be Williams and Malawatch. And when Williams goes down, God forbid, it's going to be Malawatch and Richards. We have a really good lineup.
CP, we do
at center
for the summer league. Yes,
at center
we do.
too.
No, I think the center, but for the summer league lineup, I looked at that and I was like, "This is actually going to be really fun."
Our summer league team's going to be crazy.
Ted Offensive says CP3 working with Jalen Green and Malawatch would be worth bringing him back. That's what I'm saying. Like, CP3's not playing with Harden. Suns were so PG deprived. We had Nurkic playmaking. Yeah, it's true. And I mean, it's going to look that way unless we go get. Fred White says, "Bro, you just played the race car." Who did?
Maybe me. Played it for you.
Oh yeah, I was just joking. I was just saying that I'm not cool.
Fox says, "Do you think we will be better than last year?"
The sad part is
we lowered the bar. Exactly. The bar is so low that there's a very good chance that we'll be better next year. I do expect us to be more fun and less disgusting to watch. Well,
yeah, because the team's gonna be younger, and you want to see how players are gonna play, and yeah. I agree with you on that one. More entertaining. Animal says that's probably the better word. More entertaining. Do a sign and trade for Keon Ellis, Grayson Allen. Bro, none of these moves move me, bro. I'm just telling you.
Thank you, Eric.
Isn't Ben Simmons available? He loves taking the ball up the court and handing it over to someone else to deal with.
I'm also just so done even ever thinking about Ben. I'm 3 years past considering Ben Simmons on the Suns. How about this? A lot of people that don't want Chris Paul back, if you look at just the anti-Chris Paul return people, the biggest thing I see is they say he brings the ball up the court too slow. He walks the ball up the court. We need to be a fast-paced offense.
I heard that.
What do you think about that?
I heard that. But it's not fast-paced. You don't have to bring the ball up fast to be fast. Your sets can be fast. You got to read the floor fast. You got to develop fast.
Well, he actually runs sets properly,
and he can make ball movement. So I know, like, you hear them say we want to play fast and aggressive. That doesn't mean 7 seconds or less offense. That's not what they mean.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of that. Like, am I not considering that enough? As far as like, I never really noticed that much. I never really noticed it because our offense was so statistically dominant when he was here. It's like, why are you? Yeah, like why would we be complaining about the way the offense was ran when he was here? That was the second best offense we probably ever had, second to, the actual 7 seconds. Sweet Tea with a $2 donut said, we actually drafted a team Vogel would love. True. Dem bigs, dough. What would Vogel be able to do with Malawatch and Mark Will?
Boy.
Tori Jones was telling me yesterday that he thinks that Mark Williams is a little bit overhyped on defense because his injuries have taken like a little bit out of his defensive ability. And he was saying the same thing with Dylan Brooks, your guy Dylan Brooks, that, I'm going to get ahead of this. My guy Dylan Brooks. Okay, because that's where it's
You
going.
can have him.
Okay,
You can have
my
him.
guy Dylan Brooks
Mm-hmm.
and Mark are not as good of defenders as people think they are. That was according to Torrey Jones. I don't know what you think about that. I mean, we'll see. It is believable.
That's literally my
Brooks is
about
getting
that
older.
We'll see. That's my comment about this entire season. We'll see. That's my entire comment about this free agency coming up. We'll see.
Christopher says Brooks is definitely overrated on defense. Yeah, like I think he's going to be more of like a talker than a producer on defense. He'll produce some compared to what we had. It'll be nice, but it's not like Brooks is a straight up clamper. I don't know if he's that anymore, but he'll give us energy. He'll give us energy and fight. I think fight, like you like to say, right? I saw that smile. Alex says Mark is crazy athletic. I know he is. It's just he's had a foot tendon injury. He might have low back disc issues. They haven't said disc, but the way they describe things sounds like a disc issue. So I don't know. I just want us to be prepared for that. I don't want us to go into this year thinking that he's going to be as good as Malawach defensively. Malawach on defense, bro, I've been watching for fun and for research purposes. Full Duke games. So I can see how much he gets subbed in and out, what the defense looks like when he's not there, what it looks like when he is. Dude is a rim protector like the Suns have not. Like, imagine JaVale McGee, but young and more like bigger. Bro just gets up there, left or right-handed, and just beats shots, bro. People think they're going to finish on Malawach.
Pause.
And LMAO. And he swats the shit out of it, dude. It's like you're just left thinking, like, what did that dude think he was going to do there? Why would he try Malawach like that? Like, and that has been one of our biggest problems, man. No protection at the rim. Nobody to stop the free layup line. How many points a game are we going to save by having real centers that can block shots and deter shit at the rim? Dude, we might save 8 to 10 points a game. What did we lose every game by last season?
The lane won't be wide open and easy to score on, that's for sure.
The
Your boy
rebounding
B-Com's
should
still
be
out here.
better. Go ahead.
Become see clearly $2 super chat. Try to read the game, but you can't fake influence. Then he says Book needs to have a 40 acres and a mule season.
Okay.
Christopher Johnson, $5 super chat. Master Sundo and Baller Gabe. With soft DA on the market, y'all think Lakers will pick him up? Go Suns. I mean,
They will.
Yes, I do. They definitely will.
And the crazy thing is, Luka is that type of dude.
Mm-hmm.
He can make him work.
Final Boss says, if we trade Nick, what did we want back? $2 super chat. If we trade Nick, what do we want back?
So I argued on Twitter,
dude,
that we could get a first for him. Now, I got flamed a little bit. It got a lot of likes and everything, but it also had a lot of comments of like, he ain't worth no one, from like non-Suns fans. I feel like you could get a late one for Nick Richards. I think you could get a late one or a late one in like 2031, 2030. Would you be okay with that? I would.
Sure.
Because then you slide Oso back into that third spot, and Oso doesn't have to go to the G League.
Or be traded himself.
No.
The young piece. People might be willing to move him. Contract's nice too. With a nice little club option on the end of it.
What do you think you could get for Oso? You think you could get more for Oso or for
No, I'm not saying
Nick
you get more for
Rich?
Oso. I'm just saying Oso carries value. I really couldn't. I really wouldn't be able to tell you there. But I think Oso does carry some sort of value that you can move with a
KDOT
player or with
says
him.
2 seconds. A lot of people on Twitter were saying 2 seconds, like that's the best I'm going to get for him, not a 1. We got 3
You did just trade a
seconds.
second Nurk for him, right?
Yeah. Well, and we gave up Okogie.
That's it. That's right.
And we gave up Okogie. Like, I don't know. He can be your backup center of the future and be a good fill-in that can have some huge stat games while your starter's out and be on an incredibly good low contract. I would, if we were in a situation where we were still hurting for centers, I would give up a late first for him. That's my line of thinking. I would give up a late first for Nick Richards. I think you would too if we didn't have nothing. If we didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, you know? Like we were a week ago. About a week ago. Before Brian Gregory unzipped his pants and revealed to the world that he's packing something with some punch. Before that, I'd have been glad to give up a late first. Eric Rodriguez says Suns front office turns seconds into gold. I agree. Maybe they just target seconds. Maybe they're just like, yeah, seconds is fine. Give us 3 seconds. Remember that dude that we got from, I can't remember his damn name because we only had him for like 2 days. We had him from the Wizards. Big man, power forward, useless. Can't remember his name. Todd something. Isaiah Todd. We got 3 1s for Isaiah Todd. I think you could get 3 1s.
You mean 3 seconds?
3 seconds. We got 3 seconds for Isaiah Todd. I think you could get 3 seconds for Sundo Richards. Especially now that I have more faith in Brian Gregory. Okay? Well, yeah, Chuckster. Just because I'm a light bright don't mean I ain't, doesn't mean I'm not.
Brody said light bright.
I can't help that I'm a light bright. I don't like it.
Really make any sense for us? Bro, there's just, I mean, it's, sure it makes sense for us. I mean, at this point, there's not a whole lot of, like, yeah.
I've heard Rui is just a trash defender, though. I heard he's like one of the worst defenders in the league.
Can he shoot threes? Okay, then.
A little.
Plus, it would bring much joy to be able to go, Rudy,
you just want to do Japanese voice. That's all.
It'd bring me a great joy to do that.
You just want to dress up in a...
BCom see clearly. $2 says, "What's up with these jabroni rockets trying to see the Suns?" Oh my gosh. BCom see clearly. Thank you again, bro. BCom is, ever since you gave him that wrench, bro, been sitting super chats left and right.
I mean, thank God I haven't seen anyone abusing their wrenches yet. I do appreciate that. Yeah, Chef Brian Gregory. One of my clients explained to me that people with my complexion are known as light brights when you have actual black ancestry, but you're as white as I am. It's called light bright. Can we please talk about the future of the Phoenix Suns? I'm dying to talk about the future of the Phoenix Suns. Rasheer Fleming.
This is supposed to be a free agency preview, not a summer league rookie preview. But yes, Rasheer Fleming is going to be a beast.
when I'm looking at some of these free agents as far as like bigs or power forwards, I ain't looking at no power forwards. Like, do you realize that the best player we got was Rasheer Fleming? Do you get that?
The best value we got was Rasheer Fleming.
Kinda. Like, yes, the best value, but what I mean by that is the most NBA ready player we got. The guy who's going to step in and be the best right away is Rasheer Fleming. And he's going to be playing that power forward position that is wide open. I don't even know if we have another power forward on the roster that isn't a small forward masquerading as a power forward.
Forgot about Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie would be a solid get.
Okay. I disagree. I feel like Dinwiddie is more of a scoring option and a getting towards the more end of his career scoring option. I do not see him as a facilitator. He doesn't come across to me as like a true facilitating point guard. What do you guys think? Perplexed Damage with the 5-month membership message says bright. Assume that means light bright. Thank you, man. And then Roy was the one that said Malcolm Brogdon or Spencer. Malcolm Brogdon all day for me. Question is, do you think you could actually get him for what we have, money-wise? I don't know what did Malcolm make last year? Look real quick. Does anybody know
22?
See,
it said on here. I actually looked. His previous average salary was 22.5. I don't know exactly what he made last year, but his average for his last contract was 22.5. Let me look real quick. Yeah, for the Blazers, 22.5. For the Wizards, 22.5. So bro was making 22.5 mil the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, I don't see him dropping all the way from 22 to a minimum. Do you?
Oh, and that's what I'm saying. When you look at some of these free agents, you're like, nah, none of these dudes are going to really, I don't see their market dropping to minimum. You just don't see it. Like Bruce Brown, not doing it. Brogdon, not doing it. D'Angelo Russell, you can say all you want about him, not happening.
What was his year like last year? Like, was he even earning that 22 mil?
Let's see.
Anybody
Statistics.
know?
I mean, he didn't. It says he only played 24 games, averaging 23.5 minutes, averaging 12.7 points a game.
How many?
12.7.
That ain't no 22 million.
So the answer is no.
Up, DC. Yes, Sundo is burning the midnight oil, and he needs to get some slizzy. Are they going to make you go to work tomorrow?
I don't have an answer yet, so that's why I said I need it just in case.
All right, well, get some sleep just in case. We'll keep going. We'll keep breaking down everything.
Yeah, keep breaking them down. But I'll catch y'all later.
All right, man.
You will have an answer probably by the time I wake up.
Okay.
So you'll definitely still be awake by the time I wake up to go to work. All right, bro. All
right, man.
See.
So, go ahead and pull this down. There we go. Animal says no, he ain't taking a minimum. Yeah, it just. I would think he's going to be able to get somewhere in the range of like 6 to 8, maybe 9 million, maybe 10 million. I just don't know if he's going to drop from 22 all the way down. Baby Malo with a 11-month message said, "What's Kobe Bria's ceiling?" So I'm higher than a lot of people on Kobe. I think he's What you hear about Kobe Brea is that all he can do is shoot. He can't even tie his own shoes. He can't even order a combo at Burger King. He can't. He doesn't even know his own phone number. Okay? He can't even recognize his mother's face. All he can do is shoot a basketball. That's what people act like with Kobe Brea. But when you watch Kobe Brea, his handles are really nice. I feel like his handles are better than Devin Booker's were. I don't know as far as navigating pick and rolls and getting to the rim. I'm not saying like that, but what I'm saying is catches the ball, needs to do some work to ISO someone down to get around a screen and get his shot off. Better than Devin Booker was. And he's tall. Like, yeah, his arms aren't that long, but he's tall. And he plays really hard. And at one point last season in college, he was averaging like 53, 54% from three. He ended up averaging like 46 over the last 2 years, which I think is the most of any college player in history. Like, we might have gotten ourselves Cam Johnson 2.0. He's a better three-point shooter than Cameron Johnson, my own flesh and blood, I wish. So, yeah, Roy, I mean, in a world where we didn't have, say we had gotten a different player, it wasn't Jalen Green, and we were still looking to move Beal, absolutely, I'd be so happy with Kobe Brea being Devin Booker's protege and backup two guard. So happy. And then he can also come in and fit around Devin Booker and play with Devin Booker. Yeah, Chuckster. See, one thing I feel like I learned about Kobe Brea is he's obsessed with basketball and loves basketball and is hungry for getting better. Big reason why is because he took a fall in practice and broke both wrists. Like, imagine, I don't know, you get bumped up in midair, you brace yourself as you're falling and fracture both wrists. And then he was also in a wheelchair for some reason. Like, he's had some injuries that have taken the game of basketball away from him. And so part of the reason why he's such a hard worker is because he realizes, hey, someday this is going to be taken away from me. I really want to enjoy the time that I have with basketball and be the best I can be, because I've seen what it's like to think that it's possible I won't get to play again. And it's pushing him in the direction of being a crazy worker. Yeah, get to the chopper. We saw that. It's pretty intense. He's got to be going to the Lakers, you have to think. Broke both tibias? Damn. Should we be worried about Brea being made of glass? Is that a thing we should worry about? Just asking questions. Love Y'all said, the way he pulls up off screens, I saw the same thing. Because Ted Offensive said Brea is not just a sniper. He gets compared to Duncan Robinson, but his highlights make you think he's more like a larger Jamal Murray. Man, I don't want to put those types of expectations on him by saying names like that. But I do see a lot of similarities between Devin Booker and Kobe Brea. I said in that video, Booker, when he came out, no one thought he was going to be anything more than a shooter. And he worked his way into becoming way more lethal of a threat. Ivan, I think he's better than Jalen Bridges. I do. At least at shooting. Be Calm, $2 said, Suns up, Suns up, Suns up. Good night. Love y'all, gang. Love you too. Be calm. Have a good night, man. Animal says Clay with less D. That's a good way to look at it because Clay was elite. Inferno says, what player comp would you give Rasheer Fleming, Gabe? I don't know. I don't have a clear comparison yet. Do you guys have any comparisons of what you think Rasheer Fleming is? I was kind of the only player that came to mind. And his name is escaping me right now. He was with the Magic with Dwight Howard, and he was a 3-point shooter. Do you guys know who I'm talking about? Black dude, not Turgaloo. It'll come to me. No, not like Montrezl Harrell. That's a little bit more defense and rebounding. But he is a nice rebounder. The thing about yes, Rashard Lewis. Thank you, Rashard Lewis. But the thing about Fleming is he went to a smaller school. He was at St. Joe's. So I think that's why he fell to the Suns. And I think that's the only thing we have to worry about is like, how is stuff going to go? How's it going to go when he's playing against elite of the elite? When he was playing against players that he was better than, you know? I wouldn't necessarily say Dario Saric, Roy. I don't know. I mean, they both shoot threes, but Fleming is way more athletic and he can get to the rim. You know. No, not Michael Pietrus. I was thinking Rashard Lewis. I saw that too. Larry Nance comparison to Fleming. I think Fleming's a way better shooter and a little bit better motor than Larry Nance, you know? Yeah, he does, Ted. Also, I've been researching because I've been planning on making a video about CJ Huntley. Mm-hmm. Thanks. My mom just handed me some pictures. All right. This is crazy. What year was this? I think this was, I don't know why my mom just did it. My parents are staying with me right now. My mom handed me a picture of me when I was in I think this might have been 10th grade. Look at the hair. This is proof. It doesn't matter how damn good your hair is. It doesn't matter. It will leave you. Okay? It will leave. Ooh, baby. Your boy was rocking a chain in my freshman year. I was rocking a chain. I don't remember this. I don't remember. This is crazy. Freshman year basketball. Damn, that's blurry. I'm trying to make it not. I was rocking probably a sterling silver chain, number 23. Okay? That's crazy. And I'm all blurry now. Yeah, I was hooping like Stefan Urkel. Pre-rush, I need Dunn starting. I need him starting. It just doesn't make sense. Sundo just messaged me. I'm going to restart my camera. Sundo just messaged me and said that free agency starts at 5 p.m. our time. That should fix it. There we go. It was some LaMelo Ball looking ass hair, right? Oh my God. I was LaMelo pre-LaMelo. Jeremy said I had the same hair, now it's all gone. Bro, I'm not even lying. Like, girls would literally I didn't know at all would stop me in school and just be like, "Can I touch your hair? Can I touch your?" It was like, once again, people, the hair, the Justin Guarini hair. It's a sad thing. All right, life ain't fair. Chuckster says you can start Dunn over Brooks. Oh, hell yeah. Please do not start Brooks over Dunn. I wouldn't even mind seeing them play together. Rick, your boy was getting motion. A lot of motion. Some would say too much motion. Okay? Love y'all said Dunn year 2 leap incoming. Bro, I don't want to undersell Dunn, but I am kind of the belief already that Rasheer Fleming is going to be better than Dunn. You know? Now, I will tell you, Goldface, one time I also had a boy stop me in the hall and pass me a note. And I was like, what is this? Who is this from? What is this? Read the note, discarded the note. Okay? I'll leave that up to you to figure out. Motion everywhere, Malo. Love y'all said he probably have rookie defense issues, but yeah, spacing probably better with Fleming. Yeah, but his wingspan is 7'5". Can somebody figure out what Rudy Gobert's standing reach? Sorry, wingspan. Rudy Gobert wingspan. 7'9" for Rudy, and Rudy's a 7-footer. Yeah, that was how me and Sundo met, and it's been all uphill since. You know? 7'5" wingspan, fast as hell, shoots basically lights out. The only reason I can't say lights out is because Kobe Brea is actually lights out. Just a little bit less good of a shooter than Kobe Brea. 6'9". Bam Adebayo is 6'9". He plays center in this league. Rasheer Fleming will... I want you guys to be prepared for how important and big Rasheer Fleming is to the Suns' future. It is just... He's going to be a fan favorite. Get your Rasheer Fleming jerseys now. He's going to be a fan favorite. Yeah, Gabriel, exactly. He's gonna. I think he's gonna be better than Dunn right off the bat because he's already a much better shooter than Dunn. You know? Roy says, could Fleming be like Draymond on defense? I don't want to put that on him, dude, because Draymond is like one of the greatest defenders of all time. To hear him tell it, he is the greatest of all time. Some people will agree with him on that. I think Dunn's a little bit better on defense, but Rasheer is just a very balanced. The one thing he doesn't do is he's not a great dribbler of the ball. Like straight line dribbles, getting to the rim when there's an opening, he can do that. But he's not going to be breaking people down in the ISO situations and creating for himself. And that's fine. We don't need that. We just need a guy who can defend bigs, knock down shots, and get to the rim. And that's what we got. And we got it with the 31st pick, and we traded up twice to be able to trade up for him. Like, if all goes as planned, I think people are going to remember that pick for a long time. And Brian Gregory set himself up for just a really good. But this is what scares me. Remember how high we all were on James Jones in the beginning? We thought James Jones was a god in the beginning. So we have to be patient. We have to be patient and see what the totality of moves end up looking like. Yeah, dude, Brea jersey's gold-face. Brea jersey's going to go hard. The Valley Brea jersey. Ted says Suns play Wizards on the 11th in Vegas. I know. I'm so excited for Summer League. We're going to have a hell of a team. I think we're going to compete for the championship. I see us in the championship game one way or another. Yeah, Ruben, seeing Book back in the Valley will be weird, right? Because like you get to see how he's aged a little bit, and the face is going to look a little bit different. But I'm excited to see Malawatch in that jersey. I'm excited to see Fleming. I'm excited to seeing Mark Williams in a Valley jersey is going to be crazy. Jalen Green is going to look crazy. Like, I'm just glad those jerseys are back. I'm not one of these people that thinks that we should have left them in the past. They're our best jersey. You know, maybe they're our second best jersey ever, but they're probably our first best jersey ever. Use your best jerseys ever. Why not? Like, do the Bulls go away from their jerseys? No, their jerseys are goated. They're not going away from that. They're not going to change them up just for the sake of being able to sell more, you greedy bastards. Head Offensive says, Common has a real motor. Ayton has a Tesla motor. Hopefully, I think he's going to as well. You know? Rick a.k.a. Tuna says, I honestly think the Suns will be in the playoffs this year. We have to get a point guard first. We have to land Chris Paul in free agency probably within the next 16 to 20 hours. We have to land either Tyus Jones or Monte Morris to come back. And yeah, CB, he got bought out. You know he's going Lakers. If we want to make the playoffs, that is. Because, and even then, I don't know if I can give us a playoff spot because the West is incredibly difficult. You know? That's true, Chuga. Teslas are faster than anything else out there on the road. Can't deny that. But like to me, it's not really even a motor. It's like a battery. I don't know. Ayton's a fun one. Lakers are gonna chew him up and spit him out unless he cooks. What about Exum, says Kayaton. Let me look up Exum's stats here. Let's see how Exum did this last season. Who was Exum with again? Where are you at? Dante Exum was with Dallas. Look up his stat skis. Alex says 14 teams in the West are trying to win. It's going to be a gauntlet. If we were in the East, we could definitely make the playoffs. That's like I could see us getting a 6th seed in the East potentially. But in the West, it's just too much. There's just too much going on. And guys, we should be okay with 1 year to 2 years of getting back to that, place where we could actually say, yeah, we're going to be in the playoffs. It's not how it works. It's too much. Too many good teams. Okay. Dante Exum last season, 8.7 points a game. Holy, is that okay? That's what? Do I want Dante Exum? I think I'd be okay with Dante Exum. What's up, Epic Thunder? I think they'd probably go right back, Epic Thunder. Like, what's going to stop them? So, Exum shot 43.4 from 3 last season. 43.4. Is that right? Yeah. And 48% from the field. He averaged almost 9 points a game and 2.8 assists. I don't love the assist numbers. I really would love, but he only played 18.6 a game. He's big. He couldn't be a worse defender than Tyus Jones. There's no way. Austin said I would rather have CP3 over Exum, to be honest. Yeah, me too, but I wouldn't mind having both of them. CP3, Exum, and Gillespie. Ooh, that could be fun. I like Ayo, Austin, but correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like Ayo Dosunmu is more of a combo guard, 2 guard than a facilitating 1. And right now we just have such a need for that facilitating 1. Look down this list a little bit more. Gershon Yabusele, I'd love to get him just as another power forward because he can shoot, but Gershon is going to be worth too much, I'm sure. You got Trey Jones, Tyus Jones' brother, as a funny option. Chris Boucher, I like. Bruce Brown. Bruce! I would really like to get Bruce Brown. What do you guys think about that? I think our cap space is largely the same, Fox. It's not much improved at all, if any improved. We haven't really made headway with saving money. Final Boss says Gary Trent Jr. I think he's too good of a scorer, Roy. He's going to be worth more money than we can afford. We're looking. Unfortunately, we're working with bargain basement style deals. Now D'Anthony Melton down there, that's not the worst backup option if he's healthy. Let me look up D'Anthony Melton. You guys remember when we used to have Meltbone? Anthony, and we drafted him. I always like getting our drafted players back. Melton. Not Nelton. What the heck? What the heliante? D'Anthony. Man, there's a lot of D'Anthonys. ESPN doesn't even pull it up. How good could he be? Bruce Brown's not bad. Bruce Brown's a combo guard, but he actually plays the 1 well enough, and he could facilitate. That would be an interesting way to go. I kind of think he'll get more money, though. you know? People still remember him as that connecting piece for that championship winning Nuggets team, you know? Gabriel Brazar says, Gillespie's really good, I'm sure. I butchered his name, but I love his game. Future star. He just needs minutes. He will always make the right decision and puts in effort. I agree. I just worry about his size. Just worry about his size. Haydot says, nah, Gabe. What, Haydot? What's nah? Jeremy says Melton missed most of the year after tearing his ACL. I thought something like that had to have happened to him. Trey Man grind hard. That's not a bad choice too. Do you guys think Man grind hard is at the point of his career where he's got to accept a minimum? I don't know. I really don't. Zambuki, I've always wanted the Suns to go get Chris Boucher, but I just feel like, I mean, maybe for a power forward, right? Maybe to back up and play alongside. But once again, do we think it's going to be a minimum? You know? Remember when you used to like Dwayne Bacon, Roy? And I think it really has to do more with you not being allowed to eat pork. I think that's where it really comes from. Oh, Austin. So you're saying nah as in Nickeil Alexander Walker. Why are you even like, he's going to make way too much money. The Suns can't get nah. The Suns can't afford nah. The Suns don't have nah money. So that's what I'm saying, Gabriel. Is like, I don't mind that he's not the starter. You can tell that there is a lot of value that can come from having a backup or a third point guard who's really good, who comes in during injuries, like when, Halliburton was injured, or just comes in when Halliburton needs a stretch of breathing. I really see the perfect model for Gillespie as being, I think he has the talent that he could be better than McConnell. You know? Roy says, Gabe, Finney-Smith, though? I would love Dorian Finney-Smith as an extra wing defending 3D. 3D, I'd love it. Fox says, I wish Beal would actually just play consistently because he's actually good. It's true, man. That's the real crux of the problem, is that Bradley Beal can't stay healthy. And he makes way too much money to have a no-trade clause and not be able to play consistently. He tries to tough it out and play through injuries, so he racks up like 2 or 3 injuries that he plays with. Then he gets a 4th injury, and they say, okay, it's time to sit you out for 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. We'll reassess you. 3 weeks, he comes back, rusty as shit. Looks trash. Everyone gets mad at him. Then he starts hooping. Then he gets injured. That's the real problem. It's not that Bradley Beal isn't good at basketball. No, Kayatin, Ty Jerome's going to get some money. He's going to get a payday. I don't know how big, but he's going to get a payday. He's proven himself. I never wanted us to get rid of him in the first place. I just feel like ever since we've had James Jones, we have not respected or appreciated the point guard position, save it be for when we had Chris Paul. They don't invest in the point guard position. They don't believe in it. They think that it's better to just keep the ball in scorers' hands at all times, which is it's not the same. Alex, yeah, I mean, I'd take a look at Trey. You know, if you can't get Tyus, I don't know. Dan J says run it back with CP3 and Campaign. Now that would be interesting. Also, speaking of the Knicks, not only do they have Campaign as a free agent, they have bro that we've been trying to get for a while. Where is he on this list? My mind is mush at this point. What's the point guard we've been wanting? Me and Sundo been wanting. He's been on the Knicks. Third, fourth stringer. Dang it. Can't remember. It'll come to me. Yeah, me too, Fox. It would be kind of cool to see him back in the Valley jerseys dancing. Man. Not McBride. More of a defender. He was with the Heat, and he was with the Wizards with Beal. Bledsoe doesn't even play anymore, right? How many years has he been retired? Roy, you just want to bring them all back. No, Mo, not Kolek. Knightley says he would 100% or 1,000, 10,000% take campaign. I'd take campaign back on a minimum, of course. You kidding me? Thank you, Jeremy. DeLon Wright. And I think we could afford him. I get mad at him every year. I ask the Suns to bring in DeLon Wright every year. Every year they don't, or he goes somewhere else. Maybe this is the year where I finally get my DeLon Wright fix. I don't know. I just think he's a good defender. He can shoot a little bit. He can facilitate a little bit. He's big for his position. Yeah, Jeremy, I wouldn't give him more minutes than I would give Gillespie. I wouldn't take Gillespie's minutes away for him. Yeah, Gabriel. I loved Barbosa too. And Campaign. Cody, your boy Bull is gone. Apparently. Actually, I went back and watched update on Bull. I went back and watched Gambo. And he did not say that they are definitely getting rid of Bull. He just said he doesn't think that they're going to re-sign Bull. So there is a chance. It's not a done deal. But Austin, I watched him in the playoffs, and he didn't look that bad for the Knicks in the playoffs. You know? I don't know. You could be right, Austin. You could totally be right. I'm not going to sit here and act like I've been watching DeLon Wright closely. Just in the playoffs was when I watched him. Yeah, Zambuki, you know Bobby's going to figure out a way to get more money than a minimum. He's probably still worth it, obviously. But we don't need it. We have Bobby Portis at home. Rasheer Fleming. Bobby Portis might be a decent... I don't know if that's a decent comp. I'm just so excited about Fleming. You guys don't even get it. Kelly Oubre today, Zambuki. As of today, he opted in to get his $8.3 million, I believe. So he is sticking with the Sixers unless they trade him, you know. Yeah, Caleb. Basically, everyone wants Chris Paul. I think I should make a poll and just see what the actual percentage is of people that want Chris Paul back so we know for show. That's a for show right on. Do you want CP3 back? Yes or no? He said Josh Jackson. Get out of here. Dennis Schroeder. So that's something that Sundo was bringing up pretty seriously, and I guess you could do worse than Schroeder. You could do worse than Schroeder. Goldface, I'm with you. No D'Lo, please. No D'Lo. No D'Lo. I don't know if Karis LeVert is going to be worth more than a minimum, though, nightly. Austin says, Gabe, top 5 free agents that you want that's realistic. Let's go through that list real quick and take a look. So, top 5. Number 1, Chris Paul. Number 2, Tyus Jones. I'm only trying to pick realistic here. I would love Davion Mitchell, but I don't think he can be had for cheap enough. Bruce Brown, 3, but I don't think he could be cheap enough. Jeebus Christmas, man. D'Anthony Melton. I mean, you guys see how few, like, there is not a lot of options. There's really not. It's why I just feel like we have to succeed in bringing Chris Paul back. It seems like the Suns reportedly are interested in Chris Paul. Okay? Paul. Here we go. This is Central, not NBA Central. The Clippers and Suns reportedly considering a reunion with Chris Paul. If this is in fact the case, they have to succeed. They have to get him. If they want things to be as sped back up as possible in the right direction. Going into this season without Chris Paul is a crapshoot. Going in with him, you have reason to believe that your team will overperform what you think they could normally perform given the circumstances, if that makes sense. Every time Chris Paul goes to a team, other than the Spurs, who don't want to win, they just want to throw games. They just want to lose on purpose so they can get the best draft picks year after year. Every other team Chris Paul goes to does better. Like, the Clippers were pretty close to contenders when he was with them. Then he went to the Rockets. Do you guys remember when he went to the Rockets? I remember, because I had hair back then, being in the barbershop, talking with dudes about how it doesn't make sense how him and James Harden were possibly going to coincide on the same court with only one basketball. I didn't think it could work. They were a Chris Paul hamstring away from dethroning that insane Golden State team. Literally, he was 1v5ing them, basically, hitting step-back half-court threes like Steph, in Steph's face, shimmying in his face, doing his own celly right back at him, and then hamstring went. Okay? Then they trade him to, he's 40 nightly. Then they trade him to the Thunder. And this was like, this is the end of Chris Paul. He's been sent to the Thunder to die. He's on a team full of babies. He doesn't fit. He's an old man with a bunch of babies. He's win now. They're win tomorrow. And that's not going to work out. This will be the end of Chris Paul. Can you believe they sent him to the Thunder? That was the prevailing sentiment there. That was the year that the Suns won 8 games in the bubble and still missed the playoffs. So that's what we were doing. What was Chris Paul doing with that team of pipsqueaks? Oh, they were the 5 seed. I'm sorry, did you say 8th seed? 7th or 6th? No. 5 seed. Comfortably in the playoffs because of him. What did we do? Won every game and hit a crazy game winner in Kawhi and Paul George's face, and still couldn't make the playoffs with that gallant effort from Booker. Then we get him the next year. People are thinking, Suns might be like, they might make the playoffs this year. Oh, might we? Might we be the, third, fourth seed? Might we dethrone LeBron real quick? Might we wax Joker real quick? Might we slap around Kawhi's bitch ass real quick? Might we just go to the finals and go up 2-0 before Book blows his hammy out? That's what happens when you add Chris Paul. You don't even need Chris Paul to necessarily be on the court. You need him in there barking orders. I know, sports guy, I get it. I don't even need him playing. I would be satisfied if we brought him in as an assistant coach. My point is, get this man's brain back in our locker room. Get his mouth back in our locker room. Pause. Because he's the only one that knows how to tell people what to do and have them listen and have the respect of people that they'll actually do what he says. He got DeAndre Ayton a max deal. The same DeAndre Ayton that today got bought out. That's what he brings to your team. A multiplying effect. Everyone gets better because of him. The Suns don't have that on the roster. If you can find me that player on our roster, if you can get someone on the roster that can do that isn't Chris Paul, great. Their names are Luka, LeBron James, Joker, Halliburton, like, who else makes everyone better? Like, it's a rare trait. And even though he's 40, he played 82 games last season at age 39 and into his, 40th birthday. Yeah, Blop, they bought him out today. Also saying he's 40, we're not winning this year. Do you understand that? I'm not sitting here telling you how to build a championship contender because I'm trying to be realistic. I'm telling you how to make the rebuild process faster. And the way to do that is to get Jordan Ott's program up and running. And the way to do that is Chris Paul. Chris Paul's the guy who got Monty Williams Coach of the Year. How funny does that sound in 2025, the summer of 25, that Monty Williams was a Coach of the Year? It was because of Chris Paul. That's why Ayton got his max. That's why Devin Booker was in the MVP running. It's not a coincidence that the second we got rid of him, everything started turning to shit. And he wants to come back. He's not mad at you. He's not mad that you looked him in the face and said, "Get on out of here, little guy. We got Bradley Beal coming in here. Could you leave? We're actually going to give him your number 3 too. Could you leave? Take your stuff out of your locker. Just go." You're going to go to the Warriors? Cool. Go to the Warriors. We've got Bradley Beal. That didn't offend him to the point to where he's like, fuck the Suns. I ain't going to help them. He's willing to come back. And it'll probably be for dirt cheap. This is a blessing. I hope we're lucky this year. I wanted him last year. I wanted him to come back already. We didn't get him. I'm really going to be super duper disappointed if we don't. So you guys seemingly agree with me. We got 88 votes on this bad boy. 90 votes. 86% of you want CP3 back. I love it. Like, Chris Paul had Bismack Biyombo feasting. Chris Paul had, like, what could Chris Paul do with, you know who he might be the very, very best for? Kaman Malawak. Spoon feed. Go back and watch Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama highlights. The alley-oops that he would put up there for Vic. AZ Sports Guy says he wants another payday closer to home. Yeah, if he gets a payday, he gets a payday and we miss out on him, and I'll understand. My thought is like, how do you pay a 40-year-old more than a minimum in today's basketball economy with today's strangling CBA? The middle class is dying in the NBA. So it's just like there is no middle class. You're either taking a minimum or you're on a real deal for a lot of players. Yes, he did, Alex Wolf. He mentored SGA. We see how that turned out. Vinny says, Monty, Booker, Bridges, Johnson, DA, CP. Yes, that squad was crazy. The squad we have now can be even greater if everything plays out like we hope. We need to be patient. A little bit of patience here. But the cool news is, like, we are on the right track. I think we all agree we're on the right track. The train is back on the tracks, at least, after getting blown up this offseason. By payday, you mean minimum? Well, we've got a minimum payday for him. Yeah, I'm sure at this point, at 40 years old, he'll take $2.5–3.5 million to play basketball at age 40. You know, CL Oracle says every team Chris touches turns to gold. I agree. I would have taken him as the head coach over Jordan Ott in a heartbeat. So to get him on this team with Jordan Ott, don't get no better. Vision said Lakers fans really out here begging for Ayton to sign with him. Are they already on Twitter doing that? That does not surprise me. Goldface says, imagine in like 5 years we look back at this point as the turning point that led us to the championship. Hopefully it's a good start. You could not have asked a rookie GM who's never like had this position this high in the NBA. He was a college coach. You can't have asked for him and Ishbia, who everybody's been hating his guts and saying he's meddling too much. He's a meddling owner. And then he looks you in the face and says, actually, I wasn't meddling. I wasn't meddling at all. I did what you wanted me to do. I came in, I threw a bunch of $1 million at experts, and look what I got. So now I am going to meddle. We're going to do things my way. So for that guy and Brian Gregory to pull off what they pulled off, to get Blazers Uprise legends, Torrey Jones and Eric, to be like, wow, they did good. wow, Brian Gregory, not us sycophants who are just in love with the Suns and want to believe what's best. No, people that, frankly, would probably prefer that the Suns weren't good, would prefer that Brian Gregory was a joke, and that Matt Ishbia didn't do that. They're looking at this going, damn, you guys won the draft. You guys drafted perfectly. Torrey Jones yesterday told me that the Suns drafted perfectly. I said, well, what do you think about like Kobe Brea over the top of potentially getting Proctor? He goes, Proctor's a combo guard. He wouldn't have even been your point guard of the future, and he's not as good of a shooter as Brea. I'm like, that's a good point. Didn't think of it that way. We're just so caught up in wanting a point guard. We got final boss Roy Maivia says, for $199, thank you, man. He says, what if we don't sign anybody? Then what? I feel safe, Roy, that Big Papa Brian Gregory's got our back. He gonna sign somebody. They know we need a point guard. They're gonna sign somebody. They have proven themselves so far. I can't believe I'm saying this with a straight face. Like, this should be sarcasm. I should be going on a very sarcastic rant saying what I'm about to say in all honesty. They've done such a good job thus far that they deserve our patience, and they deserve our respect. And they deserve for us to just, they deserve our trust. They've actually earned our trust 15 days into the off season. I mean, can you believe it? Can you believe it? Ted says the roster is better, but there's a ton of work to do. We have all of our money tied up in shooting guards. We have a bunch of centers. We need to upgrade our wings. I like the potential of Dunn and Fleming. Don't forget Brooks. And Brooks shot a really good three-point percentage last season and has been shooting the three well. So we've got three defenders out there on the wings now that can shoot. Dunn's probably the least shooty of all of them, but I like his shooting. I think he could do it. Yeah, Austin, I truly dislike, Dylan Brooks's face is just like offensive to me. His presence is offensive to me. I hated him. And then I started doing research on what he's looked like the last few years. And I'm watching him and I'm thinking, we're going to like this guy. We're going to love this guy. It's insane to me. It's crazy how God teaches you lessons. That's a quote from a show I'm watching, Hell on Wheels, where this dude who was a slave owner is talking about how he realized that we're all the same, And it was pretty deep. And he's like, it's crazy how God teaches you lessons. It's crazy how God keeps teaching me this lesson that when Chris Paul gets to your team, you like him now. And when Grayson Allen comes to your team, you like it when it's on your team. And when Dylan Brooks comes to your team, you like him on your team. I think that's what's going to happen with Brooks, to be honest. Yeah, he's an irritant. He's somebody who's going to have a different vibe. He's not going to get, allowed to get pushed around. Say this, say somebody gets in Devin Booker's face and tries checking Devin Booker physically. I believe that Brooks is going to step in and start a fight. And that's going to endear him to all of us. Kind of reminds me of Matt Barnes, if any of you are old enough to remember when we had Matt Barnes, and he was that guy for us. Stu says, if we win some games, Brooks will be fine, but there are long winning streaks. He can be difficult. AZ says Tyus is a traffic cone on defense. That's why I'm not like crazy psyched up about making sure we bring back Tyus. It's like, okay, if we bring back Tyus, that's better than nothing at the point guard position. But didn't we learn last year? But then again, devil's advocate for Tyus, every other year he's been better than what he showed under Bud, and no one looked good under Bud. I can't think of one player. I can't think of one player that looked good under Bud. So who am I to take that out on Tyus and solo him out and say he wasn't good? Like I'm almost willing to give Tyus another like half a season under a different coach to see if that's really, because Bud was leaving him in situations that he shouldn't have been in. He was putting him in situations where he would not make any adjustments when the other team was finding a way to get Tyus in the post on switches. So Booker has the ball. Tyus comes and sets that stupid little short roll screen. Remember that? Tyus or Beal would come up and set a screen for Book. And then Book would look for a little 2-3 foot lob pass over the defender. And now Beal or Tyus has the ball at the free throw line. Oh, and they get to make a move or a floater or something. Remember that play? That was like a Bud staple. It's like they would find a way on the other end to do the screen and get Tyus switched off onto the big and get the big out there guarding the perimeter, and then they'd lob it into the big, and Tyus is down in the paint going 1v1 versus Julius Randle. How do we think that's going to end up? Good? No. But wait, there's more. It's not just going to happen that one time. It's going to happen all game, over and over. And that's why I feel like we kind of sometimes we're like, this dude is trash. It's like, no, duh. He's being put in a situation that Bud doesn't know how to fix. Bud has no interest in making defensive adjustments. Doesn't even know how. So maybe it's possible that he was made to look bad. Also, on the Tyus front, Tyus is apparently being looked at by multiple teams. And I think all of them want him on a minimum. But he is open to coming back to Phoenix. But he does have suitors. That should tell you something, that some of these other front offices feel like Bud was the problem. What up, Raymond? Roy says, rank the last 5 coaches we had. Damn. I don't even know if I can remember 5 back. What are we on now recently? What's all the way back to 5? Vinny says, but Book wasn't supposed to play point. That's why we got the guys that were supposed to play point, including Bradley Beal. Correct. But Bud came in and said, my philosophy is I want the ball in either Booker's hands or Durant's hands basically at all times. I want every action running through them, as opposed to what I would want if I was the coach, which obviously I never will be, but just hypothetically, if I was the coach, I want a point guard setting up Book and Durant, not Book and Durant setting up themselves and others. It's a philosophy difference. I don't want to put words in Brendan Clean's mouth, but I do remember when I was on Locked On a while back, we were disagreeing on a couple of things, and I think I was very adamant that we need a point guard, and he was kind of in the camp of like, well, you got these stars, you're paying them all this money, the ball should be going through them. They're the stars, they're the ones, and it's like, man, I just disagree. I just respectfully disagree with everyone that feels that offense should be ran through shooting guards, and like, it's almost semantics. I do think that it should be run through them, from the point guard to them. I don't want to ramble on that. I think you guys understand what I'm saying. Austin said Ott, Mike, Vogel, Monty. What was before Monty? It was it wasn't Coach Costco, was it? Was it Coach Costco? Austin said, I just want to say I wish Bull was able to maintain his talent, but he couldn't, and it wasn't even the coach's fault. Yeah, I think I just don't I assume, and I could be wrong, that he wasn't a good practice player because no matter who the Suns had as coach, he couldn't get them to play him consistent minutes, and that leads me to believe that in practice he wasn't reliable, and so he's putting shit on film in practice, and then he comes into the games and they gets left alone, and so he's slapping threes, and he's huge, so of course he gets blocked shots, and yeah, I think it was Costco. I don't even know, man. Honestly, I think probably Frank Vogel was probably the best coach of them. But you have to give it to Monty because he had the most success. But Monty had Chris Paul, so I feel like that's a moot point as well. You know? Dan says yes because he was the reason we might have drafted Luka. You're right. So it was Costco, and stupidly they didn't take Luka, even though they had his coach, who should have been there, pounding the table with his fist, saying, "It's Luka, it's Luka, it's Luka." And maybe he was. They did not listen to him. Monty, then Vogel. Probably. And I can't judge Ott because I don't know. I just don't know. So we'd have to go back one further. Was one further than Ott? One further than Costco? Was it Jay Triano or what's his face that Book liked? Or was it Hornacek? They all sucked. Austin said, what if Ayton actually cared about basketball, man? F. Yeah, I mean, he might start taking it seriously now that he gets to live in LA and be Hollywood and have Luka passing him the ball. If he gets spoon-fed, he can do something. He needs to be spoon-fed. Chris Paul spoon-fed him, and it got him a max deal. Not just from us. The Pacers also gave him a max deal. Tried to, at least. Alex said, Gabe, did you like the Lonzo trade? I actually don't know the specifics of it. I don't like that we didn't get him, but tell me the specifics. Diego, man, I feel like it was like an hour ago he dipped. He was got to get up for work, so he went to bed early. Because we're going to be streaming tomorrow as well during, probably go live before free agency starts. How early do you guys think we should go live? Like, it's 5 p.m. for us, 3 p.m. for Arizona time. Should we go live like an hour before, like 2 hours before? I think there's enough interest we might want to go live really early. It was just Isaac Okoro for Lonzo. That's it, straight up. I wonder how much they liked Okoro, and if that was really what they wanted, or if they were just looking to get rid of Lonzo. I would have loved to have gotten Lonzo. Buzzard said, this is DA's last stop. Dude, I hate to say it because I honestly don't even care about Ayton's success anymore. He's so far gone, so far past us. I don't even care about him anymore. Like my emotional attachment to him is gone. I don't really want success for him anymore. I hate to say that 'cause it's kind of messed up, but I think that if anyone can fix him, it's Luka. It's just crazy how it's like we all know he's going to LA. Okay, nightly. So that'll be 6 p.m. for you. Like, how much stuff is going to get spoiled before it starts, though, you know? Yeah, Roy. It's over for DA and us. Like, I think that love affair is mostly gone for most fans. Yeah, Goldface, that's another thing. It's like Vogel somehow, even though the team had tuned him out, and even though Kevin Durant apparently hadn't talked to him in over a month, still got the team to a 6 seed. That's crazy, bro. That's nuts. Because arguably, or at least we thought we improved with the roster that we gave Bud. We cut out some slack and brought in Tyus and Monte, and it was looking like we did a great job. Couldn't even make the play in. Yeah, Austin. Frank Vogel was scapegoated, but also you can't stay the coach if the best players on the team hate you. That's also not going to work. You know. I did see the Nurk trade. I'm shocked that they gave up what they gave up for Nurk. You know. Good luck, Nurk. You know. Good luck to him. Whatever. Yeah, Buzzard. So, like, you're saying you can't extract lazy out of a athlete. That's why he needs to be spoon-fed. Because he's not going to work hard enough to go get greatness by himself. But if he sets a screen, turns around, and the ball's right there, and all he has to do is that, and he's wide open, that's the way a lazy player starts to get more efficient, because his laziness gets taken out of the equation. All the work is done for him. Chris Paul did all the work. It's like, just set me a human being sized screen and I will get you the ball in scoring position. And Ayton's like, okay, I guess if you're going to make me. How do I know? Because he did the exact same amount of output with Sticks and Bismack Biyombo. God rest his soul. Probably. Vision says, I'll give Ayton until the deadline before Braun wants him gone. Braun just needs to give Ayton some of his roids. Because remember how good Ayton was when he was roided up and he actually had testosterone running through his blood. I forgot about that, Joey. If they keep Braun, because Braun's talking like he's going to leave, but if they keep Braun too, Braun will spoon feed Ayton. Honest to God, I think Ayton could average 20 and 10 on the Lakers. I really do. And I don't want to. I don't want to see that happen. Ted says we're entering the Malawatch era. DA gave us the Valley-oop, and that was fun, but that's the past. Yeah, now we got a more defensive-minded center, but he can still be a really good lob threat. He's got big hands. He's got good timing. I think that's one thing I think we all will like about Malawatch more than Ayton is his ability to actually catch lobs. Remember, DA and Nick Richards, much to my chagrin, have slippery, rock hard, Donald Trump-sized hands. Malawaks are huge. So that's another reason I think we need CP3 to throw him lobs. But Book was a pretty damn good lob thrower when he had Ayton. Haven't seen much of that since. But we were running Nurkic out there for a couple years. RG says, why would we want CP3? He always gets hurt. Because it's not so much about him on the court or how much he plays. Although RG last year, he played a full 82-game slate. So it's hard to really play that tune right now with him and say you're injury prone, because he can look at you and say, hey, I played all 82. What do you want from me? It's about his leadership, his mentality, and the way that his teams always overperform because he's an on-court coach. And I don't need Chris Paul playing more than 24 minutes a game. I keep him just over 20-some minutes and let the rest of the boys do the rest to keep him fresh all year. Austin, that's a good question, man. That's a good little topic, right? Says, what are your thoughts on Rich Paul with helping us get the 10th pick? Does anybody in here not know what he's talking about? Because I could pull that video up for you. Do you guys know what he's talking about? How Rich Paul helped orchestrate Malawach to the Suns. What's up, A? CP3's open to the Suns return. Not much big news other than that. The free agency starts tomorrow. So we'll have big news tomorrow. Anybody know what we're talking about here? With what's his face? The agent. Let me see if I can find that. Aaron said he just watched that clip. I don't even... No comment, Roy. Absolutely no comment. Where the hell... All right, let me just search it up here. Rich Paul Suns. Okay. So this is from Legion Hoops. Some other things, Full Court Pass posted it. But take a listen to this. This is Rich Paul. I don't know if he's on the phone with Brian Gregory, but he's on the phone with somebody in the Suns. Let me see what this looks like on. Pull it up here a little bit. Okay, here we go.
If you guys keep 10, I'm going to mention the name and you tell me how much you like him. Kaman Malawak, if I can get him there.
A lot. That'd be my first choice.
Okay, done deal. That's all I need to
You think you
hear.
can get there?
I'm going to try my best because you're our first choice. If he gets past Brooklyn, then yeah. But let me make those calls so I can let you do what you need to do.
All right, yeah, call me back when you hear.
I will. Okay.
All right.
All right, thank you.
One more time.
If you guys keep 10, I'm going to mention the name and you tell me how much you like him. Kaman Malawak, if I can get him there.
A lot. That'd be my first choice.
Okay.
That is
done deal.
Ishbia. Yo.
I'm going to try my best because you're our first choice. If he gets past Brooklyn, then yeah. But let me make those calls so I can let you do what you need to do.
All right, yeah, call me back when you hear.
I will. Okay.
Dog. That's Matt Ishbia. Okay. So here's what I get from that. Malawach wanted the Suns. I don't know why. I mean, I got my suspicion. It's Devin Booker's a draw. Like, it's different for us because we're Suns fans. So, like, we all love Book, and he's a celeb to us. So you can't really trust how much we love him as like a barometer for what the rest of the country or basketball fans that aren't Suns fans think about Book. But it seems like you hear from these young players in their interviews, a lot of them mention Book. A lot of the current players mention Book. Everybody just really likes Devin Booker. They love his game. They want to play with him. That could be it. Phoenix, beautiful city. If you haven't been there, if you haven't lived there, you don't understand. You get there and you'll think to yourself, I thought this was going to be the desert. Why is it so tropical and beautiful? Why is the weather perfect for 8 months of the year? And why are the girls all so fine? And why are they so nice? Why is everyone so nice? Because they're being inundated with sunlight and vitamin D. It's a beautiful place to be. So maybe he just really likes Phoenix in general, but he wanted to go to the Suns. So Rich Paul says to Ishbia, do you guys want him? Is that something you guys want if we could get him to 10? How do you get him to 10? And it was nice to see Ishbia there say, yes, he would be my first choice. That feels good. Brendan Clean brought up the point on Twitter that makes it seem like the Suns didn't have no idea he was going to fall to 10, and their trade for Mark Williams was accidental, a premature etrangulation. It doesn't seem like that because they should have known that there was a good chance. And so how does he do that? I think Rich Paul probably was calling around to the teams 1 through 9 and lightly suggesting, my client doesn't want to play in your city. So take that with what you will. My client doesn't. So what do you guys think about Malawak? Okay, you like him. If you guys want to draft him, that's on you. But just so you know, he's not going to be happy there. He's let me know he's not going to be happy there. So do with that what you will. And so you've got 9 teams that know this Malawak kid ain't going to want to be here. I think that's how it worked out. And I think that's how it gets worked out a lot. I think that's a common thing that I didn't realize until now, until I saw this video. It's kind of like, wow, you can do that? That's legal? He can call around and try to make sure that his client falls? That seems dirty. I'll take it. Top 50. Let's see if there's anyone else on this list. Got to go way down the list to find the shit that we got money for. Anybody interested in D'Angelo Russell? Sundo was thinking maybe. I just don't like him. I've fallen out on his reputation. His reputation precedes him. Luke Cornett, Russell, potentially Russell. Yeah, Kaya says Ace Bailey tried to do that and it backfired. That's true. That is true. He was a little bit more vocal, though. He didn't let his agent handle it. He was a little bit more vocal himself. It was refusing. I doubt Malawak was refusing. Zambuki's still upset about him being a snitch. Still free agency, little boy, baby boy Ruben, Sam Merrill, Horford, Bruce Brown. Like we said, Bruce Brown. What do they think he's going to get? They don't say. Duncan, Trey, we talked about. KPJ, he's fallen off after allegedly beating women. Allegedly. So crazy that we don't need centers. I'm used to looking at these lists and stopping at every center to give them an opportunity to Does anybody know what Precious Achuya is going to go for? What he's going to cost? Just asking questions. Kevon Looney, Nicholas Batum. I mean, yeah, this is not a juicy free agent period, which is fine because we don't have a lot of money anyways. RG, they're still trying to get rid of him, and today he came out and said he will accept a trade to the right place, but that's better than I'm not leaving. Later, Austin. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully we get him. Hopefully the Suns are serious about getting him. Alley-oop says, do we trade Oso or Richards? I think you can afford to trade one of them to fill your roster out with other assets, and or maybe you get a guard back. I don't know, but yeah, I think one of them could be traded for sure. And man, I hate to say it, but I think of the two, I would probably rather trade Oso, because to me, Oso represents a player that cannot shoot the basketball no matter what. I don't believe, and I hope to God I'm wrong. I hope someday I get to look into this camera and say, wow, I am an idiot. But I don't see a player who can learn to shoot a ball. It looks like his brain is broken when he tries to shoot a basketball. Nick Richards has already shown that he can hit mid-ranges. In games, in NBA games, he can hit mid-ranges. So that's why I would lean with him. Yeah, for real, Buzzard. No joke, man. Very similar. Jason, I know he likes D'Angelo Russell, but it's like, dude, I like ice cream. Can I afford to eat ice cream every day? No. So let's give him Chris Paul, which is broccoli. Yeah, a lot of people were thinking LeBron was going to Phoenix today. We talked about that, and there's just no way. I don't know why people think that that's a possibility. RG says D'Lo's lazy on defense. He wouldn't fit with what the Suns are trying to build. He's not a defender. And as far as his scoring, I feel like he gets hot and then he gets really cold. And sometimes he's hot and he's usually cold. I just don't like him. He's older now. Like, he's not... He just doesn't represent anything I want on this team, For Shake Milton in a second, I would think about that, because you're probably only going to get a second or two for him. Yeah, I don't know. I need to see what Shake Milton's doing these days. You're making me want to shake from Shake Shack. Roy says, what other position do we need other than point guard? I think you can always do well to get 3-and-D defenders. I think we have one true power forward on this team, and that's Rasheer Fleming. And so you could probably stand to try to get another power forward. But the obvious answer is point guards. We just need point guards, real point guards, valuable point guards. Yeah, if you could get Torrey Craig on a minimum to round out the roster, a guy who can play the 3 and the 4 at the bottom of the rotation, and you don't have to worry about him being, completely worthless or out of sorts, you could even bring him back, man. RG says, what's your prediction for the starting 5? So this is pre-free agency. So this is totally not going to make sense in 24 hours from now. I would think. I would go Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Ryan Dunn, Rasheer Fleming, Mark Williams. Green, Booker. So, Ruben, you would go Brooks over Dunn? I can't do all that. I'm about the future. I'm about the Suns' future. You know? So, MC, like you're thinking the same way that Tori was saying to me last night, and like your point is valid, but for me, man, I don't give a damn what we're admitting or what we're looking like. I want our team to I want Jordan Ott to be the type of coach that chooses players for merit over non-merit. You either earn it or you don't. We're going out here to win an arm wrestling competition. I'm picking the guy in this locker room who wins the most when we go up against each other. Oh, we're paying you more, but you've lost like 3 times to bro over here? Sorry, bro over here is playing in front of you because I want to win. And I don't care if my ego takes a hit and people laugh at me on Twitter and say, oh, can you believe they benched Jalen Green? Can you believe they benched him? That was supposed to be I don't care. Laugh all you want. My team's going to do what's best for them on the court. We're going to function as cohesively as possible. We're not going to play 3 of the same player or 3 non-defending players. We're not going to do that. We're going to find another way for Jalen Green to be successful. But as for right now, while we don't have a point guard, I do think Jalen Green would start under these circumstances. You know? AZ says Green is good. He's different than other 2 guards because he's a slasher and plays more above the rim. True, but he's 6'4" and is not a point guard. And we already have Devin Booker. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just it's butting heads, man. Butting heads. Knightley, I don't mind Brooks starting either if we were a team that was like, hey, we're leading with our vets because we're fighting for a title. We ain't fighting for a title. We're fighting for our future. How do you make the future better faster? You get Ryan Dunn and Rasheer Fleming all the minutes they can muster. How did we get Devin Booker so great, so fast? Did we sit him for Brandon Knight? No. He played as a rookie a ton and took his lumps a ton and blossomed. We're not winning. Brooks is a win now player. It's nice to have win now defenders and players on the team. We need that. We want that because we don't want to be worthless. But you don't have to start him. You know. I am excited for Green. I don't want to make it sound like I'm not excited for Green. Green is the type of player that I personally wish I was. I would kill to be able to do the things that he did, or even when I was younger, just ever to be able to do what he does. He's so smooth. He is beyond explosive. He's flashy. He is sick as fuck at basketball. But there's levels to this. And if you can't defend and you're undersized, you're putting your team at a disadvantage, and so it's tricky. That'd be really low-key awesome, Ted. Grayson for Jonathan Isaac. I know a lot of Suns fans have been barking up that tree. I don't know what Orlando thinks of something like that, but Sundo and I are both pretty big Jonathan Isaac fans. We love that length and upside. You know, I don't know how he's been since his injuries. Yeah, Christopher's still rock. I mean, you guys are still in here, still wanting to talk. Like, I ain't got anything better to do. If I'm not talking to you guys, I'm playing 7 Days to Die. you know? Ooh, starting Isaac? Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Because Isaac is young enough. You can start him at the 4 and bring in Fleming to back him up. Man. And he's a little bit injury prone, I believe, too. So you got a nice backup, just like you've got Malawach backing up Williams. You'd have Fleming backing up Isaac. That'd be sick, man. That would be tough. If we figure out this point guard position, let me put it to you this way. Tomorrow, if the Suns get Chris Paul, I will be eyeing a playoff berth. Not going to say what seed, because I don't know. Probably 8th. But if the Suns get Chris Paul, I will be deep down. I might hide it. I might lie. I might gaslight a little bit. I will think that we have a shot at being a playoff team. Year 1 rebuild. Do you understand what I'm saying here? I could allow my heart to be ripped out again, because really all of this talk about like, oh, hey, look, we're not going to be, a part of that is just preparing yourself for the worst and then letting yourself be pleasantly surprised. But if we get Chris Paul specifically, did I say Pacifically? Specifically, I think I would expect that we could make the playoffs. And could it be any worse than getting swept in the first round of the playoffs? We've already felt that. And, you know, we didn't even make the playoffs this season. And Matt Ishbia wants to contend now. He is dedicated to having his cake and eating it too. He doesn't want a... This is the way you do it, Matt. This is the way you do it. Man. I can't believe that in the year of our Lord 2025... I'm sitting here on bended knee, begging and pleading for Chris 40-year-old Paul. But here we are. Here we are. We learned our lesson about Chris Paul. I hope you're right, Valley Sons. I hope you're right. I think Gillespie is fine as our PG. He knows how to push the pace off the bench. Yeah, man, off the bench. I don't want to all the way rule out him being a starter in this league. It just seems unlikely, so I'm trying to, like, not get ahead of myself with him because of his size. He's not teensy tiny, but I think he's, like, just barely 6'3", right, with shoes. I don't know. If he could get all of a sudden get like crazy at defense, that'd be a whole nother story. Yeah, Jeremy, even if CP3 is the backup, I would start him and play him 22, 24, 25 minutes a game. Ooh, Roy with the $2 dono says return of the SS tier BB dubs this season. Well, the Valley jerseys are coming back. We might as well start ranking SS tier BB dubs again. They go hand in hand. Patrick Bateman said, get rid of Beal. That is one of the biggest things. One of the biggest things. You know, a lot of times we have really big streams, right? Because something big happens and we're able to go live right away, right? size of a live stream, if we were able to go live right when Bradley Beal gets moved, that I need to have a thumbnail ready. So that it makes that process quicker. Because the size of our live stream and the hype in a live stream for the moment he gets let go, for whatever it is, it will be bigger than a live stream for when we signed Kevin Durant. Not joking. Not joking at all. I think more people will be in there excited to talk and key for the leaving of Bradley Beal. Knightley says Bruce Brown over Tim Hardaway. For me, absolutely, because Bruce Brown is more of a combo guard, more of an actual facilitator. He's a good passer and stuff like that. Tim Hardaway's a scorer, and we don't need any more shooting guards. If you're a shooting guard, majorly, no thank you. No thank you. Ruben said you didn't even do a live stream for the KD trade. I did a video. I put out a video real quick. You know? I don't know, Roy. I have no idea, but I'm going to be really heartbroken if I'm passed out asleep and don't know that Chris Paul or that Beal's been traded. I hope it happens at a good time. Jeremy said Bruce Brown not going to be a vet minimum. That's true. That's totally true. I forgot to put that point in there. I don't think he's going to be a vet minimum. Buzzard says CG is a whirlwind out there. I think he's vastly underrated. There were worse liability on the Suns. CG. Why am I blanking on what CG means? I really am a bozo, guys. I apologize. MC says, no one's giving up a perfectly good ham sandwich for Beal. That's true. Not unless he gives up that no trade. A says Beal to LA. I mean, can you guys imagine a world in which the Lakers were like, yeah, we'll take Bradley Beal, or the Clippers? Okay, Colin Gillespie. Nice. I knew that. I told you that it was Colin Gillespie, for the record, Eric. Jason says, everyone hates Beal, but I don't dislike him. I hated how much he was being paid and how little he was on the court. That's what it is. It's his lack of availability. It's too much. It's strangling. And it's so bad that it makes it so when he is playing, he's not good because he's always coming back from an injury. So he hasn't been playing, so he's been getting rusty. Valley says, I almost bet Ott has a plan to use Beal off the bench until he's either bought out or traded. I would imagine he's got to have a contingency plan in case Beal stays. And wouldn't it be a kick in the pants if Bradley Beal came back this season and stayed healthy for like 65 to 68 games? Wouldn't that be crazy? Like, and averages like 20 off the bench. That'd be nuts. And, but I just don't. I mean, that's like betting on Anthony Davis to stay healthy for a whole season. You're insane to do that. MC, I agree that he doesn't have to be a disruption to the team. He for the most part keeps it professional. But when you're making $54.7 million, not being a disruption isn't enough reason to keep you around. I need you to be a big positive part of the team if you're getting paid $54.7 million and strangling us like a financial noose around the front office's neck? You know, I need you. I need a lot more. I need 25 points a game from somebody who's getting 53. And even that's a little shy. I need 25 points a game, and I need you to play 65 games a year. We're not going to get that from him, I don't think. No. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it happens. I hope he plays 60 to 65. You know, that would be terrific. That would be just unbelievable. Yeah, David said put him at the third stringer and he basically is the third string shooting guard. That's the crazy thing. And that's another thing is like you never want to have all of your money tied up in the same position, and that's what we've got right now. Final boss, Roy, baby boy, Joy's boy, sweet baby Roy's sauce, Maya Villa. 199 Donut says Kobe White, Pat Williams, and Zach Collins for Beal. Are you on crack, my boy? I think Kobe White is already way too... I don't think that they would give up Kobe White in that. Pat Williams, yeah. Zach Collins, I don't think they even want to attach that. I think Pat Williams is the best player you could get back for Beal. Because they paid him too much money, and he ain't worth it either. Patrick Bateman says, I'd take CP3 back, but the Lakers are more likely. See, my question, Bateman, is like, why do the Lakers need Chris Paul? Other than the fact that he's friends with JJ Redick, it's where he wants to be. But why do the Lakers need him back? They have LeBron James, and they have Luka. Why the hell do they need that same style of passer on the team? Like, it doesn't hurt. Maybe as Luka insurance or LeBron insurance. Do you think they're going to give him, Patrick, do you think they're going to give him more than a minimum? That's my real question. Vision says, and that is a part of why people bring the Bulls up and shit like that. Like what you're saying, Vision. Bulls Bulls front office so bad, I could see them giving Kobe White away for free. Yeah. That's true. They are like the kings of old. Yeah, Buzzard, like we're not asking for a lot when getting rid of Beal. We just want to get out of his money. Just get us out of his money. Can you help us get out of this apron? That's valuable enough for me. We're not winning this year. We don't need you to give us a win now player. We just need you to take his money because you can afford it and we can't. Very simple. What up, Lufa? Lufa, what do you do for work that you're at work this late on a lunch break? That's a great point. Nathaniel Mota says, considering state taxes, if I'm Chris Paul, I'm going to Arizona, TBH. Oh, dude. I mean, especially if you're chilling on a minimum contract, a vet minimum. A vet minimum in Phoenix might be as much as like whatever he's going to get from LA. After the taxes, rake half of his money away to the state of California so they can not have water in their fire hydrants. You know it, Jose. Coffee's a hell of a drug, Jose. Work for Waymo overnights. Nice. I love a good overnight job. Yeah, Ruben. So we don't have. We've got too much money on the books right now. Too much dead money. Now, Tori was disputing this, but it seems pretty locked in. The Suns have too much money on like dead money on the books. They can't give Beal all of his money and have him walk away with it. They would have to get him to agree to take a little bit less or less, period, and he's not willing to do that. So we don't have that final say of like, goodbye, bitch. We're signing a check. We're signing a check to make you go away. We can't even do that. You know Ishbia would. Always black coffee. Roy? You know, Roy, in lieu of cans, I've been drinking a lot of Topo Chicos lately. I figured maybe Diego will call me a real Mexican if I start drinking Topo Chicos. Of course, Patrick. Of course we should have taken Luca. Lufa, we would have to find money. We would have to get rid of Beal. You know, what if that's the deal tomorrow, right? What if the surprise that Ishbia pulls is we find a partner to trade Beal, it frees up enough money, and we're able to offer Ty Jerome, former, I thought, college champion point guard. Tell me if I'm wrong there. No, Ruben, it's water. It's sparkling mineral water. I can tell you don't live in Texas. And we're able to afford Ty Jerome. Suns former great Ty Jerome. Suns draft pick. I just love bringing back deserving players that we drafted that have gotten away and grown. I love the idea of bringing them back. It reminds me of Goran Dragic. It's probably the feeling I'm trying to recreate. No, Malo, not just being former Suns. I want worthy former Suns. No, Robert, are you sure, man? I don't think of Ty Jerome. I know Ty Jerome can shoot, but he's a Steve Nash style point guard. He's a facilitator, a table setter. He just wasn't ready. He was a baby when the Suns had him. And, I told, my pod mates here on this channel back then, I was like, man, he's so good. God, we got to, because I was watching his college highlights and he was insane in college. And so I bought the hype. And so I would have believed that I would have ended up being wrong and that he was going to go off and just be a bum somewhere. But no, he went out there and has been playing winning basketball and earned a payday. Luckily, Lufa, we don't even need Sticks anymore. We don't even need him. We got Rasheer Fleming. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. If only, Ruben. Remember, it would have been crazy if we could have traded KD to the Cavs for Darius Garland. That would have solved our point guard problem. Apparently that was on the table at the trade deadline. What up, Toasty? Poor Aaron Baines. You know that dude's never playing basketball again. That dude almost died in a locker room. You guys looked that story up? That was crazy. Roy says, Gabe, which set is Suns players? What? What were you saying there? That is some broken English. Ruben said, Rasheer's the only power forward we have. He's the only power forward we need, okay? Because he's a do-it-all stud. Nathan says, the problem is that there's always one player who the Suns have high expectations on that just becomes a bad or average player. I bet you that's the same for every team, though, dude. That is not just a Suns thing. Every fan base goes through it with multiple players. So Marcus Smart, thank you, Jose. That's a good little piece to bring up here. Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart's a player that I've always wanted on the Suns. Can anyone point to any reason that I shouldn't think that he's completely washed, though? Because it seems like from afar, Smart is completely washed, done, washed, done. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know? Remember him, former defensive player of the year? Christopher says, just like you wanted Gordon. You talking about Eric Gordon? I was bamboozled, bro. That wasn't even my fault. I don't know, Patrick. He's going to get another shot. He's going to go. I think if nobody wants him, the Lakers will want him. He's going to be a Laker. And he's going to have the best passers in the world setting him up. And he's going to fool people into getting him a payday again. They'll be mad at him. You know? See, this is my boy from Nebraska, Bryce Williams. I was hoping the Suns would get him, but he's a shooting guard, so we don't need him. You know? Top. Oh, that's way back on the second. You know, the truth is knowledge. Such a good point. Rasheer Fleming and Ryan Dunn are going to be our Mikal and Cam Johnson second edition. You know what I mean? Like, I think we're going to love those two the same way. It's so cool that they play different positions and can play on the court together at all times. Also, speaking of Aaron Holiday, Malo, I think Holiday's on the free agent list, and you know me and Sundo would bring him back as an extra point guard option. I don't know what you guys think, but love that 3-and-D player. Never stopped liking him. What your boy Shams is saying. Jason says, Dunn reminds me of Sean Marion. You know, he has some Sean Marion-esque qualities. I'll give you that. He's such a better shooter than Sean Marion. I mean, Sean Marion could make threes, don't get me wrong, but like looks-wise, hideous. I know that Marion is kind of a sacred cow in Phoenix's lore. But I think Ryan Dunn, I don't want to say he could be better than Marion because that's crazy. But Marion had Steve Nash. You know, it's tough. It's tough. Tosi says, I've been partying since draft night. Plum is gone, baby. I mean, he hasn't been signed away, but yeah, you got to imagine he's not coming back. That is a super huge plus. Our center position is locked down for the future. We have We have studs at the center position that are young. Mark Williams is 23 years old. You guys think Jalen Green is young, which he is? So is Mark Williams. Like, what? Like, Ishbia cooked. He freaking cooked. And I'm starting to really think it was Ishbia now that we can identify that was Ishbia talking to Rich Paul. I think Ishbia is the real GM. And James Jones had to go. Patrick Bateman had to go. You look at some of the blunders he pulled. It's like, dude, you might have done some good things, but there's no way we can't find better than you. No way. Hell no, Ruben. Don't put that on us. Don't put that evil on us. Well, Toasty, they have a log jam at center. You know, they had Ayton. They still have Time Lord. They have young Hansen now that they took in the middle of the first round. And they have Donovan Clingan, who they took like 4th overall a year before. Not planning on doing a 24-hour stream, but it's like we're not really having much. The stream's not really dying off, and I truly don't have anything better to do. So I figured if you guys want to keep talking about stuff, I can keep talking about the Suns all night. Yeah, they kept James Jones in the front office, but he's been moved around a little bit. So yeah, I don't know exactly what his, which is fine. He did some good things for the Suns, but some terrible ones. I've been playing 7 Days to Die, Malo. I think it's by far a better game. I'll say that with my chest. Yeah, we're definitely going to be streaming tomorrow. Definitely. We'll be live hopefully an hour before free agency starts. Aiden says, recap, I just joined. Okay, Chris Paul's the biggest target. Tyus Jones is probably our second biggest target. It really sucks. The recap is this free agency isn't going to be as exciting or sexy as it has been in years past. It's not a super huge crop of free agents. But pretty much all we have to do is get a point guard, and we're going to feel like we came away with a W. Let's see here and pull this poll down. There we go. 83% of you, and it was quite a lot of 290 votes, and 83% want Chris Paul back. That's kind of the recap of the stream. K-Dot says, can we officially say that Toumani Camara was the best deal in the Ayton trade? Yeah, definitely. No question. No question. Once again, James Jones. Appreciate it, Aiden. Yeah, and really the best we can do. Best a lot of teams can do. Patrick, I do think that the Rockets are a serious title contender now. I really do. They bring back all the players that they wanted to bring back on that roster, and they get to add KD, which is what we were supposed to do. It's what we needed to do. We needed to bring KD into a team that was ready to go for him to win a title with. Not sell off your best pieces, some of your best pieces, too many of your best pieces. Sell them off and and then get Kevin Durant and be like, hey, can we do it with just you and Book? No. The answer is no. It'll always be no. Book, KD, and a whole bunch of minimums. Can we win a title? No. You need to have your roster at full power, the way that the Warriors did it. The Rockets are doing it the way the Warriors did it. They're going to be horrifying. But I'm not one of these dudes that hates Kevin Durant. I'm glad for him. He deserves, like, if you drive through, like, Section 8 housing and you see a Bugatti in a driveway of a shanty home that's falling over, and you're like, that's a drug dealer. And that car is so out of place under the carport next to a house that's falling over. That was what we were with Kevin Durant. I would love to see that Bugatti pulled into a nice, comfortable 8-bedroom estate with a 6-car garage made of bricks. That's where he is now. You know? Yeah, we gave up too much. We gave up so much for KD that we couldn't do anything with him. The Rockets didn't do that. No. The Rockets might have done that if they could have had him 2.5 years ago and had him for like a 5-6 year stint. They weren't going to do it at this point. That's true. It does depend on him, Wemby's health. Hopefully he stays healthy too. D Nice says, you think we can get Santi Aldama? What position is he? If I had to guess, I would think he's gonna get like a MLE, mid-level exception deal, which I think is around like 8-9 million. I don't think he's gonna have to settle for a minimum, and that's what we would be. But I think Aldama's like a 3, right? Yeah, is he a power forward? He wouldn't be the worst power forward to get. That's sneaky. Toasty says, anyone not drafted worth picking up? I need to look into that. I'm not sure. What do you guys know about CJ Fletcher? Anything? CJ Fletcher? Anyone? Don't go back to it, Ruben. That's how you avoid that pain. You don't go back and watch the Beal trade stream. You don't go back. Never go back to that. I won't. I mean, it's got to be straight up comedy at this point. Yeah, Toasty, I do think KD would still be here if we didn't trade for Beal. I do. And with Aldama, I don't know. I wouldn't want to start him over Fleming, and they probably would because he's a vet. Yeah, we might have Butler here in that case. The Beal trade really is where everything started to go to shit. Not gonna lie. That's what cooked us. No question. We probably would have had the assets left over to trade for Butler, and then everything would have been different. So, stream tomorrow is going to be we'll probably start at 4 Central. Wow, which is 2 Valley time. So be looking out for that. I will be working on the thumbnail and everything to get ready for that tonight. And Sundo will be here. Sundo doesn't even have to get off work, which is pretty dope. So thank you guys for hanging out tonight. You know, this was a great stream. I know we need to do more lives. We'll try to do that as well. Just put an earbud in then while you're at work, you know? But we will definitely be here tomorrow, so everybody get some sleep. All right? One more sleep until free agency. Been a hell of a whirlwind of an off season, let me tell you. But look at Brian Guegawi. He gonna get you right. And look at Matt Ishbia, our sweet little Matt Ishbia baby boy. He gonna get you right. We'll see you guys tomorrow with Sundo. He will be shirtless. Be looking out for that. Hit that like, hit that sub button.